Who would have thought? 143 episodes in, we're excited to talk about movies.
No, we're
Uh,
excited.
Welcome everyone to episode 143 of the Looks Like a Movie podcast. My name's Kevin. I'm here with Doug and Owen, and today we're talking about two movies, Sentimental Value and Train Dreams. But first, as always, we could talk about what we watched this past week. Douglas, would you like to take it away with your puffy jacket?
Um, yeah, it's fucking cold. Winter has come, bro. It's cold as anyways. Yeah, I watched The Substance. So I went to go see me and Kevin both traveled for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
I went to Arkansas and I stayed in a hotel for like 2 days.
Right.
Um to go see some family for Thanksgiving, and it was very nice. I had a very good trip. And
Uh-huh.
on the hotel, the night that we got there, I always love turning on the TV, finding a movie channel. I think I've said this before. They had
Yeah.
HBO at this hotel, um, and like HBO, like one of the HBO channels is just like
It's
dedicated to it's just movies, right?
Uh-huh.
I
yeah.
think like HBO 2 or something, and The Substance just started playing, so we just watched The Substance.
Sure.
Uh,
But
I
this was to be
rewatched
to
The
be clear, this was not
Substance.
like a full family viewing, right?
No, it's me and
Because
my sister. No.
that's
That'd
what
be
confused
awesome.
me when you were like, "Oh, yeah, I was traveling for the holidays and I watched The Substance." So I was like, "I don't
No,
know
no,
if
no, it's
that's."
just me and one other person. No, it was not
Yeah,
a whole family get together. But I watched The Substance. I think this movie's just bad, bro. I was like,
yeah.
we did a whole long podcast where it
Yeah,
was very negative, like maybe a little too negative. Um, and
yeah.
friend of the pod, Max,
Mm.
he loves to say that we just don't understand the movie, and he says that that's our worst episode ever. But
No, we
I,
have
I
some bad ones.
rewatched it and I was like, oh, there's like stuff I like about it, and I was watching it, and then the movie kind of got into the weeds, and I was like, no, this is too mean, bro. This is too mean.
Mm.
This
Yeah.
movie, I don't know. Anyways, not to get too into it. I do not like that movie. I
Neither
love,
does John Carpenter.
well, John Carpenter. He probably hasn't seen it. He's a hater.
No, he's no, he keeps it real.
Yeah, but yeah, I love Margaret Qualley and Demi Moore in the movie though.
Mhm.
And then family viewings.
Right.
Mm.
I watched Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and then I
Right.
watched Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That's like Owen's favorite movie right there.
There you
And that's
go.
like your favorite movie. That's like both of your guys' favorite movies back to back.
Listen,
Um,
I love all the Harry Potter movies, but Sorcerer's Stone is not my favorite, just to be clear, just to set the
no, I
record
know.
straight.
John
Uh,
Steele shot that one.
yes.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, wow.
Chamber of Secrets always scared me as a kid, and it was always my least favorite Harry Potter movie. Like on this rewatch though, I was like, I think I like this more than the Philosopher's Stone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that normally like at the it's like a big complainer is like you're like, oh, this movie's long as hell. They're all really long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that one's like super spooky, like kids
Hmm.
horror movie,
Yeah.
haunted house, but it's the castle sort of thing. I think that
Yeah.
movie's really fun.
No, the
Owen
movie's
Owen
great.
kinda gave me a new perspective on that movie. It made me appreciate it more now than I did when I was a kid. I think I was in the same boat as you, where when I was a kid, it was my least favorite Harry Potter movie probably, which is not, I mean, I don't know, like I just said, I
That
love all of
whole
them.
third act
Um,
shit it's like
No,
yeah,
insane.
yeah,
it's
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 so crazy.
crazy. No, the whole like the whispers on the wall and
Oh
like the
yeah.
blood
And
on
there's
the,
just
it's like it's
yeah, I
yeah,
mean
yeah,
it's
it's
that
awesome.
really
really
cool actually.
Yeah. And then I saw Sentimental Value yesterday in theaters. Uh
Was that a
s-
family viewing?
no, I
Oh,
saw it with my girlfriend.
okay.
I She got kind of mad at me, but yeah, I saw it with my girlfriend. And then
No, yeah,
and
air it out on the
yeah,
pod,
do
just, you
tell.
know,
no, it's actually
little therapy
it's
session.
no, not on not no. And then I just finished watching, like literally just finished watching Train Dreams, and then sat down at my computer and wrote a
Nice.
quick review, and Kevin sent the link,
Yes.
and that was it.
You don't need to get that specific.
And now we
Uh,
are on
And
yeah.
now,
StreamYard recording
yeah,
this
now we're
podcast.
Now we're
StreamYard
on
recording
StreamYard
this.
recording this podcast and so on. Owen, what did you watch this week?
Not too much from me this week. Thanksgiving and other stuff going on, but I did watch the Bridges of Madison County, the Clint Eastwood movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that movie is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Clint Eastwood and Meryl Streep, and they have this like kind of 4-day romance, and it is they're like two of the best actors, so it's kind of unreal. Very emotional movie. I really like that. I've only I guess I've seen a couple Clint. Like I've seen The Juror Number Two, of course.
Right.
And then some other like Hereafter I really like, but he has a shit ton of movies that he directed that I haven't seen. But I really really like The Bridges of Madison County.
I think we're just in Madison County. I mean, one of you can correct me if I'm wrong. That's probably his most universally acclaimed one, where like nobody dislikes that movie. Whereas it seems like a lot of his other movies have lots
Um,
of there's lots of
I
critiques.
mean, among people, are you saying like in general,
Yeah, like in general, I get more Million Dollar Baby, I guess
like
maybe, right?
Unforgiven, or like I don't know. There's I feel like there's like
Oh, right.
like I don't know
Yeah, I
that
was
movie.
thinking Unforgiven.
Yeah, I probably it's probably the right, but like I don't know. I think that Bridges of Madison County is up there for sure. I mean, it's got a 4.1 on Letterboxd, whatever that means. But
Yeah, I did
it's
not consider
Unforgiven feels like the
Unforgiven.
Titan
Yeah, yes, yeah.
of Clint Eastwood. But yeah, I mean, like stuff like American Sniper and all that. Like some of those other movies are very like divided and kind of people are mixed on it. But yeah, I'd be hard to find someone that is like I hate Bridges of Madison County. But you know, who knows? I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Yes.
Um, but it's not me. I mean, it's Clint Eastwood's playing like a photographer, and it's just kind of yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. And then I watched all of Normal People in one day, just like back to back. Put those two uh things. So there was a lot going on.
Mm.
Really, I like Normal People a lot. It's there's actually I will say it is quite well shot. Um,
Been saying
I
this. I've been saying this to people when I talk about TV. I'm like, actually, Normal People looks pretty good.
um, there's a lot of like interesting kind of
Oh,
stuff
okay.
going on
It's not
here.
that long. I was looking to see how long it was. It's not
No,
that
it's
crazy
12
for a
No,
episodes
one
and
I
they're
mean
all
they're
like
like
half
they're like
hour.
40 minutes
Yeah.
Yeah.
long, and some of them like 20 minutes basically.
But it's like it's less than 400 minutes. I was expecting it to be like
Yeah, it's not
crazier.
too
No,
bad.
it's
I
pretty
mean,
short.
it was my day, but like it's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like
But I do
12
that like once a
hours.
year, just watch the whole show in one
But it wasn't
day.
like a dawn to dusk viewing though. You know, yeah, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
No,
no.
no, no. But yeah, really like that. I mean, I really like Paul and Daisy a lot. And it's good to, or it's interesting to see like an extended period of time with them. And of course, Hamnet's coming out soon, so uh, more Paul there. But yeah, I kind of threw that on a whim, and I did. I actually I'm 3 episodes into the pit, so TV era. I
You're
don't know.
watching the
He's
pit?
watched more of the pit than Doug has, by the way.
No, I've seen 6 episodes of the pit. You're 3 episodes into the pit.
I'm 3 episodes into the pit, so
Yeah,
That's
watch out,
he's
crazy.
gonna
watch
be
out.
done before season 2 in January.
Yeah,
No, that's
I'll be
crazy.
ready.
We got a big
Um,
honestly, well, you're on a roll. You might as well just catch up on Industry before January
whoa,
too, and
whoa, whoa.
start
Industry's nuts.
Isn't there like there's
watching
like
some
4
TV.
seasons of Industry or something?
Well, January will be the 4th season.
Yeah.
I'm not even caught up on Industry, but at this rate, you might get there before me. So
And then yesterday I was like, I don't know, I've been kind of weird about it because I've been thinking about Sentimental Value, and I saw this movie like 9 years ago when at New York Film Festival, and I really loved this movie, and I was like, but I kind of like um sometimes I'm really bad at like remembering things, or like,
yeah,
but sometimes
Let's
I
same.
let's wait, let's slow down. What are you talking about?
You're talking about
Sentimental
Sentimental
Value.
Value.
Sentimental
Okay,
Value
okay, okay, okay.
is I think I have a knack for certain things, but like some like I think with movies, it's really hard for me to talk about a movie that I just haven't seen
Right,
recently
right.
in a way that I feel confident talking about it. And I felt like Sentimental Value, I like it so much that I kind of wanted to revisit it, but it wasn't playing super near me. But then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just go catch this like last showing of the night um in like the smallest room possible. It was literally like I was in a closet and there was a TV. But I'm glad I saw it again for this discussion. I don't know if it's tough because I still like don't really have my complete thoughts on the movie,
I
but
same.
it's like it's
Yeah.
a tough one. I'll be honest, it is tough. It's a tough one, but I it was good to have a refresher. So I saw that again, and then I watched Train Dreams
Yeah,
before this episode.
which we'll also talk about.
Yep.
Um, I also was away for the holidays. I think Doug already mentioned, so not a super productive viewing week for me. It's kind of weird because there's a lot of stuff I just didn't log on Letterboxd because I watched a lot of parts of movies.
Okay.
My
Yeah, yeah.
girlfriend's parents have the TV on very often, and so we would just be like hanging out in the living room, and then like on cable I would just watch like 30 minutes of 50 first dates, and I was like, oh,
Right,
I was
right.
like, this is a sweet movie. And then I'd like go do something else. So it's like I didn't actually watch 50 First Dates, but that 30 minutes I watched, I was like, oh, this is pretty fun. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. So there's a lot of movies like that I just watched in passing. The only movies I watched in full, uh, actually right before I went away, I watched The Ballad of Wallace Island, a movie that came out earlier this
Yeah.
year that a handful of people we're talking about. It wasn't a very big release. I don't even know that it was really playing in too many theaters. But I think it played near me, and I just was too busy to see it. It's a really sweet little movie. It's I don't know. I've sometimes people call a movie harmless, and then like random groups of people will still just like find a way to hate on it. This
Yeah.
like really feels like a movie where if you hate on it, you're just kind of a loser. Like you're kind of just like a miserable person. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
like
right,
it's
right.
truly like you could just watch it and be like, it's a movie I don't like it's not for me. But if you watch this movie and you're like, that's a like it's a piece of shit movie, you're just like kind of annoying. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
kind of a really sweet movie. Like it's just like an hour and a half, and the characters are all like really sweet, and the story's really sweet, and it's pretty well made, and the acting is really good. I mean, there's like the two lead actors are um guys who I was not familiar with at all. Of course, Carrie Mulligan is in it, but the two main guys I just like don't really know, and they're terrific in it. So it's like a if you're catching up on movies from this year and you missed this one, I would really recommend it. It's very sweet. Um, so I watched that, and then we put Moonstruck on the TV just before Thanksgiving, or I guess just after Thanksgiving. We put Moonstruck on the TV. Uh, it's a lovely movie. I was kind of in a pissy mood because I had my sights set on watching a different movie, and then
Yeah.
everybody wanted to watch Moonstruck, and I'm like, trust me, I love Moonstruck,
What
but
movies
Yes.
like
did you want to
Yeah, I'm
watch?
interested.
What were you trying to
I'm
put
I
on?
genuinely like don't remember anymore.
Yes. Oh, right, right, right.
No, I swear, but
You
it's
were
like a
just
movie I like as much as Moonstruck, but or
mhm,
maybe it's a movie I like even less than Moonstruck, but I was just in the mood for it. Because I had like a list on my phone in my notes, like I was putting together options for us to watch, and then I kind of like said to my girlfriend, I was like, I really want to watch this one, and
mhm. Yeah, they weren't
nobody
into
was
it.
was that into it, and then we ended up watching Moonstruck,
Mhm.
and or maybe
Yeah.
it was well, because the movie I watched the next day was The Holdovers. So in my head, I'm like, maybe it was just that I wanted to watch The Holdovers, and then we ended up
Mhm.
watching it the next day anyway. I don't remember, but the point is, I wasn't like in the mood to watch Moonstruck because I wanted to watch something else. And then pretty early into Moonstruck, I was just like, I can't be in a bad mood watching this movie. It's just like, yeah, I just really like it. What are you doing with your hand?
I was trying to do I was trying to figure out how to position the fucking,
It
when
looks
he's
like
like
you're whipping,
Oh, when
whipping
he's
and
like,
nay.
yeah,
that's a good scene, but
it
I
is
couldn't find my hand in the fucking camera. I had lost
right.
it.
Anyway, Moonstruck, good movie. And then, like just alluded to, we watched The Holdovers the next day, which was God, I really like that movie. I just really like The Holdovers. It's I don't know that I will ever actually like keep a promise like this, but it almost feels like the movie that I'm most likely to just watch every single year forever. Like I could just really see myself like around
Mhm.
Christmas time every year, just like finding a reason to put it on.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
It's just
That's
like so
crazy.
it's just like the nicest movie ever. I'm like, I love it. It's so
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah,
especially
modern
like
classic, instant classic, as the kids say.
sure, but like, but and it depends because the problem is, of course, that like it's one of those things that you want to put on with like a group of people, like around family. Except that's what I just did while I was visiting my cousin. So it's like I'm not going to convince them again every year to be like, hey, let's watch the holdovers. Like I don't think that they're going to want to do that. So
Maybe a year is a
um,
long time. A year is a mighty long time.
sure, yeah. It seemed like everybody enjoyed it. It's a really good movie. And then I similar to how Doug just finished watching Train Dreams, I just finished rewatching Sentimental Value in theaters before this podcast because, like Owen was saying, I think I might be even worse with this stuff where I'll watch a movie. Sometimes I'll watch a movie on Thursday, and then by the time we record on Sunday, I'm just like I think it's been too I'm like, I need to watch
It's
it again.
tough.
I
It's
know because I
really
really just
tough.
like, and it has nothing to do with how much I like a movie. I just
No.
like straight up forget things, and I noticed that this time. This happens a lot at New York Film Festival too. Is that you're watching so many like movies in such a short amount of time, and there's like so much. I'm like forgetting entire scenes, and then I was watching Sentimental Value again in the theater, and I'm like, man, I wasn't even thinking about this stuff when I watched it the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's nice to just like watch a movie
No,
in an
I think
environment
it
like
is
that
like
and then go
it
watch it
is
in like a
kind of
theater.
nice because like genuinely like it is like I just like oh it's like I'm watching it again for the first time. I'm like, it's like you have like fucking memory loss and like
Yeah,
but it's like I'd rather that than like I'd fucking I mean there's certain movies that I kind of know like the back of my hand, but it's nice to watch it and like be able to like and kind of engage with it without being like, oh, I know exactly what fucking is the next shot, and I know what this line, you knowing it too
yeah,
well.
yeah. It's nice when you can watch it again and it feels like you're watching it for the first time, and you're not like, I don't know,
Yeah.
you don't just see everything coming.
The
But
very first
we'll
time.
we'll start with that movie, Sentimental Value.
No, whoa,
Um,
whoa. We should start with Train
whoa,
Dreams.
you want to start with Train Dreams?
Yes.
Everyone's gonna click off.
Why would we do
Let's start
that?
with let's start
No,
with train. Let's skip
literally, no.
train
Everybody
trains.
wants
Let's
to
get
hear
train
about
dreams.
Sentimental Value.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
they should wait for a second. We need to get Train Dreams. I'm gonna forget about Train Dreams while talking about Sentimental Value.
all right, fine, fine.
Train
Because of
dreams.
Doug, we'll talk
Train
about Train
dreams.
Dreams. Doug, can I ask you something? Because you're the only one who hasn't logged this movie on Letterbox.
I
You
did log
did
it.
Like
I
Train
relog.
logged it.
Dreams?
I logged
Already,
Oh,
it.
did
you
you?
already logged it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It did
okay.
not
I
like
didn't. I
that
mean,
shit.
I guess you did finish it minutes before we started recording, so I just didn't have time to check. But okay, so you didn't like the movie very much.
What? It's fine. I don't know. It's like
No,
Spoiler.
it's fine.
fine. It's like
It's just it's something we have to talk about because this is a pretty we're talking about two pretty universally loved movies this year, and I think we had a much more positive reaction to one of them than the other one.
There's a
Uh
gap, and
yeah, and people love Train Dreams. So I want to kind of get
people are
to the
having train
I
dreams.
want to get to the core of why all three of us didn't like it, as
you.
opposed
Well,
to
you liked it. You liked it.
You
sure,
love
I liked
it.
it. I liked it. Liked is
Are you
like
gonna lower? Are you gonna lower your rating for a second time?
Or
no,
you lowered it.
Okay.
no. I
Okay.
lowered it from a 3.5 to a 3. I talked to
Oh,
my
I didn't know
girlfriend.
that.
My girlfriend and I watched it together, and then I talked about the movie
And she was
after,
like,
and
"That's ass."
I was being pretty negative talking about the movie, and I was like, okay, this is um I
I
don't know
took
if I
notes about Train Dreams on my
you took
Oh
telephone.
wow,
notes.
wow! I did
Yes.
not.
Not very many. Very
The
sparse.
beauty of
Very few.
Netflix. Imagine we watched everything in theaters. I mean, you would never be able to write
I don't know what
notes.
the fuck was going on my TV, and maybe it's just a me thing, but that shit looked really bad on my TV compared to like the Twitter videos I've been seeing. I was like, this shit looks
I don't know. It
rough.
looked fine on my
It's
TV.
like my TV is like dying.
The
Well, that
movie
might be a problem.
looks like fine. I think. Like the
Yeah,
movie looks okay.
I
Yeah,
it's very pretty. It's the
S-
location, like I
is
Sometimes.
sure.
VistaVision is it
Yeah.
VistaVision or no?
Is it visible? I'm not sure.
Well, I guess I'm saying that because the DP is shot the M Night movie, which is on VistaVision, and
Mhm.
but I don't know. I'm just it's very there's a little TikTok framing kind of go like I don't there's it's because that's something that's been said about like VistaVision, where a lot of like the way that the format is like it's a lot of like you have to center frame and stuff like that. Because it's pretty, but like I'm not interested really in like any of the framing going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was watching the movie and I was really trying to keen in on this, thinking about the way the movie looks. It is like it's like fine. I think there's a lot of decent compositions, is how I would put it. Like,
Sure,
granted, like decent maybe like too negative of a word,
I don't
but
think it's supposed to be, but
I don't think it's like I don't know. I think that people get really excited. No, actually, never. It doesn't. We're not. I'm not going to talk about people's reactions to stuff.
okay,
I think that um I think it's actually kind of easy to make a movie
that people like.
framed like this,
Yes.
right? I don't think it's like an especially unique or challenging thing to do, as far as like professional filmmakers go, with the equipment and like the actors and the access to
sure.
etc. Right? Um,
Right.
I don't
You
think
think the
that.
USC film students are making something that looks like this
I
That's a
mean,
whole
with
nother
their equipment?
conversation. That is a whole nother conversation.
that's really expensive. That film is so expensive.
It's so
It's like
silly.
$1 million camera.
Yeah, I mean it's
Um,
USC also. It's
Yeah,
the most well-funded film
no, I
program in the
know.
world.
yeah.
Um, no, this is shot digitally. Um, which I mean, you can do so much now with like film, like making it look like it's kind of a film look, sort of thing there. But it's just an RE thing, which makes sense. I was interested because of the. I'm always thinking about like when you're getting a certain guys that shoot on certain formats and like what people are used to, because it's like VistaVision being so different. Like obviously this is kind of a tangent, but like VistaVision being something that like people aren't really used to working with. It's like, do you just like get a guy who like knows how to do like use that, like work with that format, or are you just like, hey, this guy's only shot primarily digitally and like, hey, you want to try VistaVision? It's just an
Yeah,
interesting jump.
it's
So that's why I
interesting.
thought it might have something to do with film, but it's just digital film.
Those formats like VistaVision and 70 millimeter, they're both like cumbersome to work with. Uh,
Yeah.
like they're both like they both are do put like an additional string on the filming of the picture. I listened to Matt Bellany's interview with this is a super tangent with James
No,
Cameron
it's perfect.
that released this
Yeah.
past week, and Matt Bellany was pushing James Cameron, saying like, why is nobody else shooting in 3D? Why are all
Yeah.
the other 3D movies post converted? You know, why is nobody shooting in 3D? And James Cameron gave like this very oh, when you shoot in 3D, it's everything wrong with the production like just becomes like 3D's fault. You know, it becomes the thing that you blame. And then
Mhm.
and then Matt Bellany said like, oh, and it's also cumbersome to shoot in 3D. And James Cameron said, sure, but it's like not any more cumbersome than shooting in 70 millimeter. Or that didn't
Yeah,
stop Ryan Coogler from shooting
definitely.
Sinners.
I
Like,
think ultimately it comes down to like what is 3D that when you throw 3D on it, it's like no one really gives a fuck. But
right,
70 millimeter, it kind of has that thing where it's like
yeah.
you might, so it's like the effort or the discomfort of doing 3D is maybe not as worth it in that kind of consumer relationship.
Yeah.
But
We could save some of that chat for the news as well, because
Sorry. Yes.
70 millimeter is going to come up in the news later too.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
um,
But Train Dreams.
but Train
yeah,
Dreams, yes. Aside from how the movie looks, what did you guys? What else did you guys think? I think it's worth noting, and I don't know exactly how far back this collaboration goes, but this is a movie directed by Clint Bentley and co-written by him and Greg Quidar. And last year, they made Sing Sing together, except they flipped it around. They wrote the script together, but Greg Quidar directed it. Um,
interesting. That
Sing
is interesting.
Sing, a movie that I loved. I don't remember whether you guys watched it
I
and or
didn't
how
see
you
it.
reacted to it.
I liked Sing Sing. I didn't love
Okay,
it as much as I want to say the consensus. I was below the
sure,
consensus, but I still really liked it a lot.
sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's notable. And again, I don't know where else they've collaborated prior to that,
Wait,
but
this is Sing Sing
um,
is the 159th highest rated movie on Letterboxd.
to be fair, I kind of
I know I
understand
was
why
that's not a
people
judgment on
wanted
the
you to
movie. I
think
was just
that.
surprised. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
I
What about
kind of understand. To and also it's interesting because like again, when we're talking about that collaboration, it's like people have kind of, I don't know that people are loving Train Dreams nearly as much as Sing Sing, but they are still loving it. And
Mhm.
I can way more understand why that reaction happened to Sing Sing as opposed to this movie, which one thing I want to talk about that I think has been a subject of discussion is the amount of voiceover in this movie. Um
Oh yeah.
and and I and
Yeah.
that's where I and we're also yeah, maybe I mean it's also like there's a good amount of voiceover in Sentimental Value too, a movie that we all really like.
Yeah.
So it's not that
There is a connection
it's
there.
yes, and it's not that a voiceover is
They're
like
done
inherently a
differently.
negative thing.
Um.
But
Yes. This is my thing. I've thought this for a long time about like voiceover narration. It's hard. It's really hard to do it and it not suck,
yeah,
especially when it's in your native language. Because I think like if it's something in another language, you're mostly like reading it. I think it plays differently. But like when it's English narration, I think that's why I mean there's a lot of Malik comparisons. We'll get into that, but I think Malik does a really fucking good job with narration and voiceover. It
yeah,
like he really does, and it's but I do think it's hard. It's hard because when you're just like saying things like just in that direct way to the viewer, it's really hard for it not just like just suck. I just that's how I felt with that, and I think this is a like a good example of like bad narration.
yeah,
Uh,
I'll
yeah,
go. I'll talk about the narration too a little bit. I'll go even farther to say like I try to intellectualize why I think the narration failure is too strong of a word, but why I think it's like pretty unsuccessful.
yeah,
And I was watching the movie with the Malik of it all in mind because I
mhm.
was primed for that, where people were like, "You're not Malik," like people that don't like the movie were like, "You're not Malik, little bro." Um,
Yeah,
and there certainly is like Malik in the movie, like obviously I think.
sure,
But I was watching the movie and sometimes when we were in a memory, right? Where I feel like that's how a lot of the scenes are kind of proposed as like a memory. I don't know, you
yeah,
could disagree, but where like we would be like in a memory where like they're chopping wood or whatever, and the narration is describing like all of the characters in the scene. And
yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, this is like a Wes Anderson movie. This is like a
yes,
Wes
I mean,
Anderson movie
the
if you
narration is
stuck
not
out.
really Malicky
Yeah.
because I think like Malik is very. I mean, there's like it's like a cinema of like a poetry in that way
Mhm.
of like where we're really saying like some deep stuff that like isn't exactly obvious.
Yeah.
Where I think there's yeah, Wes Anderson is interesting bringing up where it's like very like
But Wes
especially when
Anderson
yeah
has that so much personality in it, right?
yes
There's so much personality in it,
it's very
and
different
the narration plays into this kind of like this like super specific kind of personality that the rest of the scene is supporting.
yeah
This lacks any of that personality or specificity. It's just a
mhm,
guy describing all of the characters, right?
yeah
yeah,
Who have no visual discernible traits, right?
yeah. So I think both of you pretty much summarized how I felt about it as well. And to connect it to Sing Sing, what I was saying is that like I can understand why Sing Sing resonates with people emotionally because those
yeah
characters are like so rich. And I think
Well, and they have
that
in
the
Sing Sing, there's
yes,
all the excellent collaboration with the actors.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that the voiceover here really like doesn't make the characters feel rich. You know, Doug mentioned like that there's like specificity when you're watching a Wes Anderson movie, and I think and your point about it being obvious is like, yeah, it is like kind of really obvious, and it is just like it's kind of describing to us emotions that I like already know the characters are feeling a
yeah
lot of the time. Um, and
well
so that like doesn't really make them feel like characters. And then the characters, when it's not voiceover narration, the characters kind of tell you maybe not even how they feel, but like what you're supposed to get away from it from the
there's
movie. So no, go ahead.
there's one scene just to support your what you're saying. There's one scene that I think is maybe a little egregious that happens in the movie. Egregious again, maybe too emotive of a word, but towards the end, I'm going to spoil Train Dreams is on Netflix. It's been out for 2 weeks. I think that's fine, right?
Yeah, we're doing
uh,
this episode a week late. I
yeah.
think it's earned spoilers.
There's his wife and child die in the film, right? They die in a fire. And I think that not I think there is a moment in the film where he has a dream that his daughter came back to him, and he now has his life with his daughter. And then he wakes up, and it was just a dream, but it felt very real to him. And now he's like, and now it's like it kind of fucked up his life even more because I was like waiting in case it was real for her to come back. And then the narration goes like, "Oh, was it a dream? He doesn't know. It felt very real, and now he's waiting and
Yeah,
waiting just in
yeah,
case she ever comes back." And
Yeah,
it's like,
and we
okay,
see that he's waiting.
no, we know we see we
Yeah,
literally it's happening as he's waiting. We're seeing him waiting, and
yeah.
that's what the narration is saying.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I meant. I think that's
yeah.
really like what got frustrating to me is that I said like immediately after the movie ended. And again, Doug made the point that I don't dislike the movie. And I don't cuz like some of it just kind of works for me. But like my first comment when I finished watching the movie to my girlfriend, I was like it's kind of like watching a Google commercial. You know, like when they do like Google like Super Bowl ads, and there's like
yeah,
and it's like they type in like a Google search, and then they show like this whole like happy family doing stuff, and then someone's like describing what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like the whole movie.
I don't love this isn't a you thing because lots of people I saw online lots of people that don't like the movie were saying it's like an insurance commercial. I don't like criticisms like that because people point them at filmmakers I like.
Mm.
Yes.
Because like Terrence Malick, he has always had always like in this more like contemporary period had like perfume commercial accusations where it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
Terrence Malick makes perfume commercial cinema, and it's
Mhm.
like I don't know, I don't. There's not a good argument against that, you know.
Just I
So,
think the argument is something that you brought up already, which is that there's like poetry to those movies that doesn't exist here. Like it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
Even the scene I felt, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but even those scenes that are kind of like, where they're showing like montages of him with his family and like time passing and stuff, I thought were just kind of like edited in a way where I didn't connect with them at all. Like I didn't feel as much as it as I was meant to feel during those. And I
No,
feel like when
I
that happens in a Malik movie, I just like it's the complete
yeah.
opposite reaction.
Clearly, people are feeling a lot when watching this movie.
Yeah.
That's not really uh s-
it
the
felt very
response
weightless
that
to
I
me.
got
Yeah,
to.
I agree.
Yeah.
I did not connect on any. I did not. I felt very emotionless while watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of just like a very like surface level kind of empathy, where I was like, oh, it's sad that his wife died. You know, like
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I felt as
it's
well.
interesting. We're talking about like the narration being very obvious, and this is like a book adaptation. And I do think like there is a level of that where it's just like, is this just what the like am I getting the book read to me right now?
Yeah.
And I think
I
like
I have
there is
heard
a
that is the
level of
case.
like that's like where mediums like when you're doing that, like some stuff works when it's a book and this is a movie. And
Yes.
so like I think that's kind of what it felt like to me when I was like, okay, I'm getting this book read to me, but I'm also seeing it. So then it like works sort of like a and it's kind of ironic that it's a Netflix movie, but it works as like something that you can kind of listen to and not really
Yes.
pay attention
Yeah.
to.
I
And
have I don't know if it's every line, but I have heard that there are lines of
yeah.
narration that are just lines from the book. And
apparently the book
Mhm.
is like a major work,
yes,
like a
I was
really
gonna say
major
that
work.
next. The book apparently is really good,
Yes.
and I would like to read the book. And honestly, I could do you I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel this way sometimes often with book adaptations where I like while I'm watching the movie, I could picture how the book is better. Like I'll be watching the movie and I'm like, "Oh, it makes sense that the book that this is based on is really good." You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
could see how this is a much better
Mhm.
book than it is movie.
One of the reviews that I read a couple of reviews on Letterboxd. One of the reviews that I read talked about how like the book is so great, right? And this movie is like kind of like a poor adaptation of because like again, like there are lots of reviews that you could read and like all of them mention the book. I feel like bring up that the book is really good, like really major.
Yeah.
One and this comment said, and I thought it was interesting. I thought it was worth bringing up. It was so interesting. It's they said the book captures the entire region, while the movie fails to capture a single man. Right, and I think
That's
that's
tough.
very
That's tough.
succinct. You know,
First of
um,
all, yeah, great piece of writing. Second of all, I was going to say, I like one thing I don't like about the movie is that it feels so like small. Like it's like
mhm,
it like you know what I mean? Like it passes by like that, and that's like kind of the point. But I feel like it doesn't. I don't know. It's just like everything about it felt so small, and it's like you are going like you are meeting characters along the way. Like at no point during that time do I feel like what you're saying, where it's like it captures an entire place or it captures entire groups of people or even just the main character.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it felt very small to me. And speaking of that character, we haven't really talked about any of the performances in the movie yet. Do you guys have opinions, I guess,
'Cause
starting
they're
with
not very
Joel
good.
and working
Okay.
towards the supporting performances?
Can we get Felicity Jones better roles? I feel bad for her. No, just because this is her
Stock
coming off of The
wife
Brutalist.
character,
Yeah, just
yeah.
Yeah.
playing the wife. Granted, she there was so much more interiority in The Brutalist, right? And she that character was a little bit richer, whereas
Yeah.
this is like, man, she has nothing going on in this. This is like
Yeah.
really just like playing the wife. Um,
Yes.
Yeah. It's when you look at her when you look at her movies by release date, it
I'm looking at that 100
I
Nights
mean,
of a
really when you
Hero
just
is
look
gonna
at her
fix this.
career, I guess. It's not even
Um,
really by release date. I guess when you just look at her career, it's really underwhelming for the quality of actress that she is.
she's great actress. Yeah,
It's The Brutalist and some stuff.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's like the Brutalist is just like the best thing she's been in, which like she doesn't, you know, when you talk about the Brutalist and you list everything that's good about it, like it's like that's not like her character is not high
But it
on
is
that
it
list.
is The Brutalist is a very long movie though, and she's in a
Sure,
good amount of it. But yeah,
sure,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
and I do want to. She's so good at The
she's
Brutalist.
very good in it. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like that's her. Like it's like that's her bringing that to the
Mhm.
movie, and it's like it's proof that that she's as good as she is.
Yeah,
And yeah,
this
she
it
doesn't get
kind
a ton
of
to work with here.
yeah, no, like really like her character doesn't have a lot going on at all in this movie. She's there to die, really is what it feels like. It feels like she's
Yeah.
like her character is a prop to die so that our main masculine figure can feel sad about it, you know?
Yeah,
Little Nolan moment.
Yeah, little Nolan.
yeah.
And Joel Edgerton, I think he's a good actor.
I think he's a great actor. I like him a lot. This movie is not like his best work, but I don't think I thought he was good in the movie. I personally, I don't know how you guys feel. I personally thought William H Macy was just like awesome. Like he shows up for like 5 minutes, and he's the best part of the movie to me. Just like
Yeah, well, because
so
William
so
H.
easily.
Macy, I'm scared. Okay, can I talk about like just like the cinema as
You're scared.
as filmmaking for a second?
Yes,
Um,
please.
I'm scared because William H. Macy is incredible, right? But I think that's just he's an incredible character actor. You know, I think he as a human being in real life is so specific, right? He's so specific and has such a singular energy that he brings into all of the characters that he plays, right?
Yeah.
He brings in like a version of that energy to all those characters that feels like so specific, he creates kind of like a like a, a like another layer of world when he's on screen. I think I'm serious. I think he's
No,
really incredible, right?
No,
right, I'm
As
following
like a
you.
really great character actor. Are we losing guys like this? You know, because these guys are
Yeah.
getting fucking old,
it
bro.
feels like it
No,
a
serious.
bit.
I 100%, and I don't know, it's tough, I think, because it's like that guy existed, and we keep using him, and then we
Yeah,
don't really get new guys like that.
and I'm not saying like a guy
I
that like
don't
has the
know
same energy as
really
William H.
why.
Macy, but
No,
like
I know what you're
another
talking
you
about,
know,
though.
yeah,
I
like
will say I
Um,
was having this thought the other day about um actors who are like younger right now. Um because a lot of times when we talk about like character actors like that, at least like in the present day, they're mostly like older people, you know, they're mostly
yeah.
like actors who are 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. Like and I was thinking the other day about the idea of like 10 to 15 to 20, however, whatever amount of time from now, seeing an actor who's young right now that I really like not having the career trajectory of like an
Yeah.
actual star. You know what I mean? And it's not like
They're
Well,
not all
it's
gonna make it.
yes,
They're
exactly. They're not
not
all
all
gonna
gonna.
right. Like we've talked about how promising Timothy Chalamet is, right? Like Timothy Chalamet is just gonna be around. Like what he just
Yeah.
is a star. But then there's like plenty of people where it's like you see them in a couple things right now while they're
I
young, and
mean,
it's like, oh, maybe they're not gonna be stars when they're
the
50.
entire
And
cast of Euphoria,
yeah,
like, yeah.
sure. Yeah. Okay, maybe not the entire cast.
No, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
But
like, there's
yes,
lots of yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
and that's my point is I'm like at some point like these people could just show up in movie. You know what I mean? Like that could just be their career trajectory is that they turn
Yeah.
into like we might have loved them when they were young and then they turn into great character actors and they're
Yeah, I
not
think
stars
also
anymore.
people like
So
can get
it's
weird.
yeah, it's
People
it's
can
hard to
like
my point is just that it's hard to tell, you know? It's like I you might be right that we're losing people like this, but it's also true that like a bunch of people like that might just pop up in the future. Like a bunch of people you just don't know
yeah. I
what
also
arcs people's careers are going to take.
I think like it's are we looking for these people? You
I
know, it's
some
like I'm
like, I think, like,
people like there are
Sean
so
Baker
many
is, right?
good actors
Yeah.
that are just like not being given roles that like or like because it's or like are we writing that kind of role? Or are we kind of telling those kind of stories? And, and you bring up Sean Baker, like there are people that are telling different kind of stories, but um when you have William H. Macy, you can get him. Why would you try to get it's like that guy
Mhm.
already has that kind of role booked, so just keep giving that guy the role.
Yeah.
But no, he's good in this movie. It really is different. Like it kind of comes out of it's like, oh wow, William H. Macy kind of tonally is like, oh, this is bigger than kind of some of the other like performances going on, and he kind of was the I think like not even that I was like blown away by the performance, but it was this thing I kind of remember most of the movie. Like, kind of was like, oh, okay, this is he's doing something here, where everything else kind of felt flat to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
He was
was
kind of loud.
yeah.
Yeah, it's also a weird one because he kind of does one of those things in this movie too that I was talking about where like his dialogue is just explaining like how I'm
Yeah,
like what the movie is about and it's just like he's the only one who made that work in the movie for me.
because
He
he
has that
does.
moment and I'm just like yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's almost like it feels like he's sort of not in a different movie, but just like playing a different instrument than everybody else is. Like he is kind of operating it differently, where it's like maybe this movie would be better if we got William H. Macy, keep William H. Macy, but then bring in other people that like are doing something different. Because I'm not sure if like the performances that other people are doing, um, not bad per se, but do they work for like are they servicing this movie in the strongest way? You know?
I'll I'll okay, I'll play devil's advocate here and
Right.
like play like movie lawyer
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
defendant Train Dreams. Uh
Mhm.
Okay.
the movie actually, the film is actually about how unremarkable our main
Mm,
character's
yeah.
Robert's life is, right?
Yes.
And so he's out there working with people and most of the people are forgettable actually. Most of the people aren't that interesting.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
if you fill the movie up with a bunch of interesting people, it actually takes away from the film thematically, you know?
I I don't
Yeah.
think that's
Fair
a
enough.
bad
Fair enough.
point. It
I
feels
I'm
like one of those it feels
But it's
similar
like
like
I don't know. Everybody sucks. It's like okay, cool
I
movie,
I
man.
remember when because only because this is a movie that you mentioned uh in the beginning of the episode when the substance came out. One of my things about the substance was that like there's a way to excuse anything in this movie, right? Like there's and like anybody who likes the movie could just be like, yeah, that's the point. And it feels a little bit like what you just said works in the same way. You know what I mean? Where like anything that you say against this movie, it's kind of what I said about the editing, like too, in those montages where I'm like, yeah, I like you could be like, oh, the point is this passage of time, right? Like you're supposed to
Yeah.
not like get too deep into these characters because time is passing too quickly for you to get too deep into the characters. And I'm like, yeah, sure, like like that. If that's your excuse for why it works, then that's fine. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So I feel the same way. Where I think it's easy to dig yourself out of the hole with this one. I think you can make an excuse for a lot of the things that I don't like about the movie. But it just
Yeah.
doesn't make them resonate though. You know.
Yeah. I'm looking at the popular reviews. I feel like we're just assholes, bro. I feel like people are gonna listen to this
No,
and be like,
because
"These guys are fucking assholes. These
you
guys
know what it
suck."
is though. Do you say that because everybody else is just like overwhelmed by it?
Yeah, all the top reviews are like, "I'm overwhelmed by emotions." Like
Sure,
this
Yeah.
really
but
turned me off. Like,
I
here's
didn't
the
even
thing
crack a
is
smile.
that and I won't get into I'll try to say this without getting into too many details. At no point in my life have I felt like I am the most emotional person I have known
Yeah.
forever. So I can never convince myself that a movie like not working for me emotionally is me being an asshole because I literally get emotional about everything. And the other day, literally yesterday, I was in the car with my girlfriend. We were talking about uh, emotional things that I won't share the details of. And
Sure.
I was just like, yeah, like I see how other people react to this, and I can't believe that they don't react like me. Like stuff like this happens, and I just like lose my mind crying. Like it's like I can't
Yeah.
not cry in these situations, and everybody around me just like manages to act normal. So anytime somebody's like, "Oh, you're just like not, like you just didn't get it," or like it just what I'm like, no, I know that's not true because fucking everything makes me emotional. So if anything, I think it's a mark of like a negative mark if you don't if that doesn't happen to me when I'm watching the movie. Because I'm just like, you
Yeah,
know what I
no,
mean?
it's just ultimately forgettable. It's just there's not a lot to really grab onto,
Yeah,
which is it's bizarre because I mean we're just talking about now like people are really grabbing onto it and kind of resonating with emotionally, but I just found it to be quite the opposite, where I was like, I'm just really not getting anything out of this experience.
yeah, I like.
So
I will
it's
say
tough to say. It's tough to.
some of the themes, which I think when you describe them, are very powerful and stuff that I think about every day, like the passage of time
Oh yeah,
yes,
and waiting for life to happen to you
yep,
instead of you
yep,
taking
yeah,
initiative in your life and stuff like that that's very powerful to me. But I'm watching it and it's like,
yeah,
oh, there's nothing. Sure, like does the film, and I say this sometimes on our podcast, and I think it's maybe not a good thing to say, but it's like, is the film more interesting than just somebody saying those things to you, you know?
yeah.
And the answer here, I would say, I don't know, not really, like,
Yeah, I
but
agree, and I'll even go as far as to say
yeah.
that it's funny because those themes you just mentioned, I feel like they're not even the themes of Sentimental Value, and I felt them more watching
oh yeah.
Sentimental
Oh, I
Value
mean,
than
come
I
on.
did watching this movie.
Well, that's
'Cause
like it's like
that was
polar
something I
opposite
was
of
thinking
like I
about
didn't
while
feel
watching that
anything
today.
I
watching this
cried while
movie.
watching Sentimental Value.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'll
come
say
on.
this on the subject of it being emotional. I did tear up during Train Dreams, but the only thing that made me tear up was what Doug suggested at, which is that like base level of like sympathy that I have for like someone, losing their wife and
Yeah,
kid. I'm like, yeah, that's just sad, It's like it's not that I
yeah.
didn't
It's
get
also like
emotional at all
it's such
during
an
this
easy
movie,
one to be like
but
just killing people and be like,
um
I'll be sad
yeah, but
about
I
it.
will say the most emotional I got was during those William H. Macy scenes. That's the part that actually resonated with me more than the
Yeah,
main character. So if anything that goes against Doug's point about the characters being forgettable, the supporting characters being forgettable because I cared more
no,
about him than I did
the lead
the
is
main
forgettable.
characters.
That's the
Um
that's the tough part.
anyway, anything else you guys want to say about Train Dreams before we move on to Sentimental Value?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. We will
Owen, do you
we'll
have anything?
It's nice. There's some. I think my favorite part of the movie is when right before the stupid shot of him in the like little plane, but I like the like with the clouds and they like kind of like zoom in and
yeah.
I'm like okay, it's fun. And
Yes.
there's like some nice trees and
Well, I was gonna say
Yeah, I
there's the
love the
underside of
trees.
trees, but
Yeah.
my thing
yeah,
is like
sure.
some of my like I say this in real life to people. Like I've said this in real life to people where like Terrence Malick kind of taught me to appreciate the underside of trees.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
No,
oh
well, it's
man,
like
like
it kind of it's
yeah,
Yeah.
there's shots in this movie that I'm like okay, this is cool, but like the stuff around it isn't like it's not nothing's really working here. But yeah, I mean, just that's how my thought process was like, okay, I'd rather be watching.
Yeah.
There's some Maliks I haven't seen, you know,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
We will talk a little bit about this movie's Oscar chances, but I'll save that for after Sentimental Value. We could kind of do a quick pairing of those two. Let's talk about the movie Sentimental Value. Directed,
The movie.
yes, the movie
it
Sentimental
really is the
Value.
movie.
This is had this the movie has had a similar reception as Train Dreams, maybe even greater
I would,
reception than Train
yeah,
Dreams.
Well,
Um,
yeah, Train Dreams was a
and
Sundance movie, and this is a movie that roared out of the Cannes Film Festival.
yes, how did you guys feel about this one?
Well, you guys have both seen it twice. I've only seen it
Yes.
once.
Oh yeah, we could start there. Owen and I both watched it at the although Owen, did you watched it towards the end of the festival, right? Like it wasn't a Q and
this
A
was the last
screening, it was
movie I
just like
saw. This is the last
yeah.
movie I saw at the festival.
I did see one of the Q&A screenings. I was late to class to watch this movie, and thank God
Oh,
I was
brother.
because it was so worth it. And everybody was there. Joaquin was there, and the whole cast was there. Um, and and it was just like it was awesome. It's like it's like I don't know. It's interesting to just like be into movies in a way where like people who aren't actually that famous are the people you get starstruck
Right,
over.
right,
You know what
right,
I
right.
mean? Where it's like I go to this Q&A and when he walked out, I was just like, whoa. You know, like
Yeah,
it's like I mean, I
yeah.
even kind of felt and again, this is an even more famous guy, but when I saw no other choice and like I was just in the same room as Park Chan Wook, I was just like,
Mm,
you know, like
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Well, Park
obviously
Chan Wook
he's
is almost like a mythic figure. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And it's like obviously he is much more famous over there than he is in the States, but
mm.
still, like it's like if I went to 100 of my friends and talked about Park Chan, they wouldn't give a fuck. But it's like being in the same room as that guy, I'm like, holy shit, like this is like a
No,
real
yeah.
pinch me moment. And I felt
That's
the
how I
same
felt when I
way.
was at I said James Benning, and I was like,
Yeah,
because there is a mythical nature to James Benning, but like you talk to anybody on the street, they have no idea who
exactly.
the fuck you're talking about.
And I felt that way very much at this Q&A, even with the cast, right? Like it's like to us, Stellan Skarsgård is like, oh my god, like that's like a
Oh yeah,
legend, and but he's not exactly like a
No,
Hollywood star, you know?
seeing Stellan Skarsgård in real life would be ridiculous. That would
Yeah,
be
I
ridiculous.
mean, and same goes for all these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That was definitely um worth it, but I
yeah.
will say I liked this movie even more watching it today in a theater
Oh
than I
wow.
did at New York Film Festival. I This is like just firmly one of my favorite movies of the year now after watching it a
Hmm.
second time. And to get at what I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, it's just like and I think Owen you said this too, but it was literally just like watching the movie for the first time over again. Like it was there was just things I wasn't even thinking about while I was watching it the first time because I was just like, you know, the atmosphere is entirely
Oh
different.
yeah. I mean, there's a
And
lot
watching
to
it this
be.
time, I was like shattered by it. Like I mean, there were so many things, and maybe this was me projecting something. I mean, I mentioned that like I was, you know, over Thanksgiving having some like emotional conversations, and there was just like topics that
Yeah.
I saw so clearly in this movie where I was just like, man, this is really getting to me.
Yeah. No,
And
I think I kind of there's so much in this movie. Like
yes,
there's so much like
which
little bits that like I mean you bring up projecting, but like I don't know. I think that's how you kind of engage with movies and stuff like that. Like, but
sure,
there's just so much like little kind of offhanded lines and stuff like that that like this movie makes me think about like 9 billion different things.
yeah,
And I think there's a beauty in kind of there's a broadness, but also like a very specific nature to a lot of it that like can really have your head spinning a lot. That's it's like kind of I liked and I thought the second viewing was important, just kind of like living in it a little bit because it just I I forgot all of the different things it made me feel because it had
yes.
been so well. Because I was like, it made me. I remember it being overwhelmed and it made me feel a lot, but like there's so many little kind of themes and kind of
Yeah,
stuff that's being brought up.
that's that's what stood out to me the most watching it again now because I really like. I mean, and this was like I liked the movie so much the first time,
Yeah.
but my immediate reaction was just that like, yeah, it is just kind of like obvious. Like it is just about this thing, you know?
Mm.
Um and I think you could maybe say the same thing about The Worst Person in the World. I'd have to rewatch it, but then but post watching The Worst Person in the World, I was like, oh no, actually I love that movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, watching this the second time, I was like, oh, actually no, this movie is about like a million different things. Like,
Yeah.
which is just so not the reaction I had because there are again the way that characters talk in his movies. Like sometimes you are just like, oh, they are telling me exactly what to feel, and then you realize that actually they're talking like there's
Yeah.
so much more there, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, what the fuck? Like all of a sudden, I'm thinking about things where I'm like, why? Like, how did this even? You know,
Mhm.
it's a weird one to talk about because there's
No, I definitely I mean, I kind
yeah.
of it's I felt this way afterwards. I was like, I rewatched it again. And I'm like, still kind of like, I don't know. Like, there's so much that I'm like still kind of digging away at it. But to me, it's it's his best work. And I
Well, I
think
was
it's
gonna say you've seen like all of his fucking movies, right, Owen?
yeah, and I think it's very interesting because I watched Louder Than Bombs recently, or like in the last couple months or whatever. And I think that movie is very interesting because that's his biggest budget movie, which is weird. Because
Mm.
when I watched this movie, I was like, oh, and maybe my numbers are wrong, like maybe the research is bad, but like Louder Than Bombs cost like $11 million.
Yeah.
And that's got like Jesse
I
Eisenberg
was
and
gonna say, how
Isabelle
much of that
Huppert,
budget is the cast?
and
Because
it's his English language debut, which I think is interesting. And you watch that movie and you're like, where are the guys? Where are Renata Reisva and all these like kind of key players? And you're missing that. You're missing him like his core. And this movie is I think it costs like 8 million. It is the perfect blend of because it's 8 million is not a big movie, but it's everybody listening to this movie would love to make a movie for $8 million. Like it's a lot of money, um, in all things considered. And so I think Worst Person in the World is like 5, so 3 million more, and then also like he's a bigger name than he was when he made those previous movies.
Yeah,
So
worst
like
person in the world was pretty. That was a big deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah, and he's now able to do the thing like when he was doing Jesse Eisenberg and Isabelle Huppert. You're bringing big name talent, and then you're combining it with homegrown talent. Sort of like you're kind of the best of both worlds, but also working that in like the narrative sense of it. Um, and then also like there's so much of this movie that like it's it's still him doing his thing, but then like the extra money kind of is allowing him to like really do it, but also not make it like it's not like a Marvel movie or it's not huge or anything,
Yeah.
but it's just like there's so much shit you can do nowadays.
Yeah.
Uh, and I don't know. I think he's able to like fully capture exactly what he wants to do with that $8 million.
I might talk about. God, I'm gonna cry. I'm very emotional. This movie's very good. I might talk
yeah.
myself into thinking this movie's way better than I have initially thought it was throughout this conversation because
Mhm.
I think
Yeah, let's do it.
and I do want to like
Yeah.
really get into the weeds of like what
Yeah,
is the movie about. Like I want concrete
Yeah.
let's do it.
answers about stuff.
Yeah.
I want to say like so Kevin, you said you're like, oh, the characters are telling me exactly what to feel right now. I was kind of thinking something similarly. I really love Igmar Bergman's films.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh the most famous filmmaker from this region that the film takes place
Yes. Yeah.
in history. And I remember uh I read like people like or somebody I don't want to say people but like somebody was like kind of saying like oh yeah the Gustav Borg or Gustav Borg as Elle Fanning says in the movie um uh is that character is kind of like a Bergman-esque kind of character and I was thinking like well the way that Joachim Trier is writing these characters is similar to Bergman too, to me. Because I remember in the big Criterion box, which is like that's like the Bergman box,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
There's this wonderful book full of full of like very well thought out and well written essays about Bergman,
Yeah.
and one of the first essays in that big book, um, I forget who the author was, but they wrote that when you're watching the movie, it's not very realistic because the characters are speaking very honestly, right?
Yes.
But it's because it's like, you don't question it because you're in Bergman's world, right? And just
Mhm.
in this world, this is how characters speak. And
Yes.
I kind of got that a little bit while watching Sentimental Value, right? Where it was like these characters are speaking like very honestly,
Mhm.
not all the time they're withholding lots of information, but when they are speaking, it feels like they're speaking very honestly.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that I was like, oh, this is there's like Bergman in here. Um,
Which
I don't
I
know.
also think it's interesting we're talking about, like, honesty, and then, like, the uses of different language,
Right.
like, in bringing
Elle
in,
Fanning
like
speaks
Yeah.
English.
and
Yeah.
there's often times where she does not know what people are saying.
No, no, no. The Stellan Skarsgård character speaks in Norwegian around her, so that she doesn't understand what he's
Yeah,
saying. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it's very interesting, because, like, they are speaking it's like, I don't know, there's something in there that, like, is, because being honest to one person, but then also, like, keeping another person out and the kind of relationships that are being, um, I don't know, there's very emotional scenes where one person is kind of spewing their heart out to someone, but they would never say that to someone else, like, as another person in the movie, and the kind of way that different people are
Yeah.
interacting with each other, and who are you opening up to, right? Who are you like able to say what is on your mind to? But also just like even like simple stuff where it's like I'm just gonna say this to someone else and not allow this person to hear it because of X, Y, and Z. And I think it's like that's a base level like with the languages, but I think it gets even more just like to when people are just talking normally.
Yeah. Um, can we get two things out of the way really
Yeah, yeah, let's
quickly?
do it.
Number one, we're just going to spoil this movie.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because everything
Oh,
that Doug said he
yeah.
wants to talk about, we can't talk about without just giving very
Yeah, yeah,
specific details as to
yeah.
what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Um, and two, I if we're going to talk about that stuff, which I think is the more interesting conversation to have, we should just very quickly get all of
I
the
selfishly want to
core.
talk about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We should just very quickly get all of the core components out of the way, which I think
Yes, yes,
we
yes.
all have similar feelings about, right? And there's not a bad performance in this movie.
No.
It is well directed. It is well written.
It's incredibly
All
well written. Yeah.
it checks all of those boxes. And
It's very well
we'll talk
shot.
about those when we talk about specific
Yeah.
scenes.
It's beautiful.
But just to get that out of the way, all of the positives that we um would spend an episode focusing on, I think it's safe to say we are in agreement about. And if you guys
Yeah.
want to point out something specifically, whether it's a performance or the directing or whatever, feel free. Otherwise, I do think we could get into um, some of the
Y-
details about how this made us
Yeah.
feel and what we think it's about.
Just a little quickly. I really like the performances in this movie. Uh, I there was rumbling, and I don't want to talk about awards. I know you're going to want to talk about awards later. We will
But
do
yeah,
that
we
after
will
we
do
talk
that
about the movie.
later. Yeah.
Um, uh, there was rumblings before the movie came out where it was like, oh, it's like, Renette is the lead, but like really it's Stellan's movie, and it's like after
Yeah.
watching the movie, I was like, not only it's like he's Stellan's the lead of the movie.
He's
He's just the lead of the
Yeah,
movie. He's like
I'll
the
add
main
to that.
character.
I when I watched this movie the first time, I, was so sure that I mean, I loved everybody in it, but I was like, "Oh, wow," like, Inga really blew me away. I was like, "That's because that's,
Yeah,
kind of the
she's
thing I wasn't expecting," right? And I was like, she, to me, was, like, the best supporting performance, and I watched it again now, there is no best performance. It's like, that's
they're so
watching it the
good.
second time, I was like, all 4 of them are
Elle Fanning could
terri
have hit me
like,
like a nuclear bomb. She's so good in
so
that
good.
movie.
Because that was like I really kind of dismissed Elle Fanning's performance the first time, and watching it again,
Yeah.
I'm like, she is incredible. Like, it
No, Elle
cannot
Fanning,
be
one of the greatest
exaggerated.
actors alive.
So
Yeah.
good. I and Stellan Skarsgård, dude,
Yeah.
like, holy shit. Like, And same for Renata, though. I've talked a lot about how I like her
Yeah,
in the past.
I think especially I mean, I've really been a fan of her recently, Renata. But like on this second watch, I was kind of like, she's kind of like she's very,
So
very
good.
good.
Yeah,
She's
she's
very
good.
good, and like it has to do with her being not an American actress, maybe, but like I just don't think she still kind of is underrated.
No, she's out.
She's like I don't know, she's
She's
so
very
talented,
underrated. I think
and
that she had the best performance by far in A Complete Unknown, but it was like
You're talking about Al Fanning. He's talking about
yeah,
Renata
I
Reinsva.
yeah,
you're
There's
so
been
talking about Renata.
there's
Oh,
been
sorry.
mix up.
but Elle Fanning is I think she's getting more flowers recently.
Yeah,
She's been more
Yeah,
in the kind of
Renata
public.
Reinsve like isn't in a lot of movies.
She's
sure.
I
I mean,
mean,
she's
recently
she's
she's
finding
been
her way
she's just
recently into like Hollywood movies.
she's
I
older and that's what I'm
she's
saying. She's an older actress that's
Yeah,
not an American actress that's now
yeah.
kind of having her moment, but
Okay.
so like she's not as famous. But I think she's incredible. And I think she's really, really good in the movie. And kind of what I was one of my bigger takeaways from it, the second watch was kind of how how much I like her as an actress.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Um,
The way that I would to start getting into it, the way that I would maybe think about like pose the movie is 'cause I think also people think too much about the like lead and supporting stuff
Yeah,
for
fuck yeah,
awards because that's just how awards are structured. But I
yeah.
would say like how I would describe the movie, right, would be like Stellan Skarsgård, Gustav Borg is the main character of the movie, I
Hmm.
think. But the movie is about Nora Borg,
Yeah.
played by Renata Um, Reinsve.
yeah.
Um, right? Because it
Vicky.
is like it is it's again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like the way that I'm thinking about the movie, and it's about him not being able to communicate, obviously, right? Being very distant, literally kind of an estranged father, right? But
Yeah.
then kind of discovering his daughter through thinking about his own family, like his mother and himself, right? And then writing that down and creating this character and kind of exploring these ideas through that. He kind of learns about his daughter that way. Um uh
Yeah.
and then he like puts Elle Fanning in like a really fucked up situation. Um,
He's like, dye your hair and look like my daughter really quick. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
It's
That's very. I mean, it's. I felt this way. I thought this when watching it second time, and I was like, I know it can be kind of like I don't even know what the word would be, but like I love when the movie is about a movie. Like I
yeah.
love when they're making a movie in the movie, and there's just a scene where it's Elle Fanning and Stellan Skarsgård and the actress who plays like Elle Fanning's character's mother in
Mhm.
the movie that they're making, and they're just like kind of talking on the porch about like the character and Elle Fanning's kind of investigating, Rachel Kemp's kind of investigating like what is like this really about, and like is this about your mother and all these things, and I'm like this is I mean, and even like the rehearsal process that they're going on is just so I don't know that stuff's I like all that stuff. I mean, and that kind of it's you know I don't
I
know.
love I love Gustav Borg's character, played by Stellan Skarsgård. I
Yeah.
love this character because it
Great.
feels very like, oh yeah, this guy is like obviously like it's very easy to make a movie about an artist, right? But I was like, oh, this guy is like he's not just an artist, he's like a filmmaker, and we're seeing like this filmmaking process in the movie. And it kind of reminded me, I was like, oh, I wonder like how much of this is like how Joaquin likes to make movies. Because it's like this very rehearsal heavy. You know, it's like oh they got financing from
Yeah,
Netflix,
yeah.
and like they're starting doing the movie. Like people are getting paid. You know, and like he's sitting down like every day, and like, he's like going over lines with Rachel Kemp, right,
Yeah.
and like doing rehearsals, and like walking through the
Yeah.
set.
Well, I think one part that's interesting because like Yukim is not the youngest guy in the world, but Gustav Borg is this kind of old kind of hasn't made a movie in a while guy
Mhm.
that's like adapting to Netflix and all these
Yes.
like new kind of things that are going on. And that's like a very interesting perspective to place your main character in. Being like this kind of like because it's a thing that is very evident in the way that like technology is advancing and are like some filmmakers are getting left behind. Like a lot, like most filmmakers are of that age getting left behind. But it's
Yeah.
also like there's I mean the scene where he goes and sees his old cinematographer and like he
Mhm.
can't really walk is
Yeah, and
like
it was like and he
heartbreaking.
was thinking like, "Oh, like, you can't do this movie, like, you're too
Yeah.
sick."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's where it's like
uh,
and
they
then
should
he's
have had
gotta
a
do
narrator come in and say, like, and evidently the Peter was too ill.
yeah, I know. But it's there's and he's doing like there's like the Netflix interview sort of thing and it's like I don't know. There's something like very it could be I mean with a like worse filmmaker and writer it could be kind of like cheesy, but it's like it is so like enriched in like filmmaking culture and like that person exists. Like, that character fucking exists
Yeah,
and it's very I mean, I don't know.
I
That it's
this is like I was thinking, this is crazy. You need to bear with me for 2 seconds.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's like if he was healthier, right? I was like, this is a situation that like Lars von Trier could literally he could find himself in such a similar situation as this. Lars von Trier is like too sick and will probably never make a movie again.
Yeah.
But if he was healthier, like he's a guy of a different generation, who's like a very like serious I'm an artist and filmmaking is my medium kind of
Mhm.
guy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like he
Yeah.
has very loved movies. He could have like met a young actor, like not being able to get financing, met a
Yeah.
young actor, pull him in to get financing through Netflix, and now feel like he's like having to navigate a different world that he's not a part of anymore. It's very, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah,
like, yeah, I think that's an
no,
interesting layer of the
it
movie.
is
Like,
there's a line where, like, Gustav is like, "Yeah, this new guy keeps sending me fucking mood boards." So
Yeah.
it's so fucking funny because it's like, I don't know, that there's so much, like, little stuff like that that is so, like it is I mean, it's just I think it's just gonna play differently for people who, like, are making films and stuff like that or, like,
mhm.
kind of
Sure.
than, like, just, like, your average audience. Like, I mean, there's the uh was the piano teacher irreversible like there's a lot of like
That
stuff
was
Yes.
like
funny.
that like
Yeah.
that are just like very it plays very well or like I don't know there's just so many little bits that are kind of super filmy that are I
Yeah.
appreciate a lot.
I will say, and I don't know that I could even like scratch the surface of all of the things that I was thinking, but a
Yeah.
lot of like what resonated with me, I think would, if people thought hard enough about it, I think would resonate with people regardless of if they
No,
care
of
about
course.
movies or not.
I think that's there's
And
so much going on here, but I think it's just an added
yeah.
level. But
And I want to talk about some specific scenes that stood out to us. There was one scene during this, and I have to provide so much information to support why this scene affected me as much as it did. But there was one scene in the movie this time that just like fucking ruined my whole day. Like just like really like made it like hard to breathe in the theater.
uh,
Um and I think a little bit has to do with what you were just saying um about being a person from a different time and kind
yeah,
of like adapting to a new world. I was having a conversation with my girlfriend just about getting old and like and family and like just like and again this is from the perspective of a young person, right? But just like how like actually terrifying it has to be to just like be an old person that just like doesn't understand the world that they're in at all, you know?
yeah,
um and and it was making me really really emotional and um and then specifically when you think about family, like that is what really got me in this movie because it's just like I don't know. It sounds so obvious to say, but it's such a meaningful thing, even if you have a bad relationship. Like you just can't help how much like family at the end of the day just like completely controls your life. You know what I mean? Like whether it's
Yeah.
like whether it's having like being super close with them or just like the lack of. In this movie, it's a lot of the lack of, but like uh, there's just like no working around how much your family at any point in your life just dictates how you feel and who you are. Um, and there's a scene in the movie where I'm gonna Agnes, Inga's character, is
Yeah.
going and looking at files of
Oh yeah.
her how her grandmother was tortured,
Yeah.
and I just like
It's a tough
it just
scene.
like fucked me up so bad because the Stellan Skarsgård character, like that's his mom, and and she killed herself when he was so young, and so like all of these things that Renata Reinsva's character is feeling about her dad leaving, he just understands because he just didn't have a mom for his whole life, you know, and it just like and so then I just like I got so emotional about the fact that like that's something that his mom went through that made his life worse, that in turn makes his daughter's life worse, and then he is like way later in her life trying to make up for it, and in many cases like you just won't, you know? But you just like kind of have to sympathize no matter like how much they fucking suck. Like you kind of just have to sympathize with like a family member just trying to do something. And that just like I don't know, like having that context of like us seeing something that she is not seeing, it just like really really got to me because it's like man, like this is a guy who has just like really suffered, and his daughter has really suffered in turn, and like you can't blame her for any of the way that she feels, but you just like you just want her to appreciate her dad anyway. It's like it's just like it's so sad, like it just like broke my heart. And of course like by the end of the movie she does, but it's kind of what you were saying where it's this thing that's like not communicated. You know, she says something, she has a conversation with her sister right before the end where they connect in a way that is like so meaningful, and they have their entire lives, and it makes
Yeah.
her appreciate her dad more.
Mhm.
But then the way that that is shown in the movie is just by them collaborating on something together, and then it ends with
Yeah.
them looking at each other, and it's like there is so many things that both of them probably feel about that, but neither of them are saying it.
Mhm.
But she can say that to her sister. And it's just
Yeah.
that's so painful because it's like that's your dad, dude. Like
Mhm.
like I would want to know those things, even if I was like the shittiest dad in the world.
Yeah.
Um,
What I
that
think
just like
it
really
kind of
got to
what
me.
you're saying there, it starts at in that scene where they are out, at some restaurant or whatever, and he's like, "I want you to be in this movie." And it's
Right.
like he's like giving his hand and he's being like, "Let's like kind of come together and come together, really." And the rest of the movie is kind of like you're how do we like how is she like basically he's like forgive me, and you're like how are we going to get to to that acceptance thing of working together and kind of having some level of a relationship that is stronger than the one that we previous have, and then we end on that kind of, and I mean there's so much that goes into that collaboration process, but also the fact that she's performing and I mean there's a lot of conversation about in that kind of scene about the way that she like him thinking about her series and the theater and
That's what I was gonna say.
they
Like,
have this kind of back and forth about like you kind of think the stuff I do is shitty, and there's
yeah,
it's a very complicated relationship on the like the stuff that the way that she kind of sees the way that her father views her and all that stuff. And I think by the end of the movie, um, there's a different way that she kind of, or there's a different understanding of how her father sees her, that
Yeah.
we've kind of changed. I don't know. There's a lot there, and that's kind of a very
well,
stagnant kind of thought. But
he is basically like, I wrote this part for you. It's a really good movie, right? and it's for you, you know. But then she, I think, appropriately
Oh
is
yeah, yeah.
no, like what the fuck are you talking about? Not only like are you like an estranged father and we don't have like a positive relationship, but
Mhm,
like she's like you're asking me to be an actor, but like you do not respect me as an actor, right?
mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
you know, you know, like you haven't, you know, you leave halfway through the theater performances you've gone to, you know,
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't like my show, like whatever,
And
like
I think you're saying like, okay, he says, okay, I wrote this for you, and of course, to any actor that it, or to anybody, I wrote this for you. That's a very flattering thing to say. But like from her perspective, I think too, it's like, what do you mean you wrote this for me? Like you don't even know me. How could you write something for me? You don't know who I am. And I mean, there's a great kind of the scene where the Ignis character Agnes is like, hey, like this is like really about like this actually is about you, and like he did write this for you, in a way that like she's like kind of didn't believe prior to that, like where it's like, oh, you're bullshitting me. You're no, you didn't- I mean, you wrote it like maybe you want me to do it, but
mhm.
how could you write it for me if you did not know me? And then I mean, it's like that's why it's so there's like so much emotional because it's like, oh, I mean, and of course, like your family members are gonna kind of know you on a certain level, regardless. But like, he really there's a if I don't know, it's an understanding of like, oh, okay, he actually we might have a he might understand more than I thought prior.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, I got so emotional talking about it that I'm like, I don't want to talk about it
No,
more.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how to like say the things that I felt without
Mm.
just like making myself sad. Um, I wanted to ask you guys about the house in the movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
love a house. I'm kind of obsessed with. I think it's so strong of like a because it's the house that they grew up in, and the like and it's generations, and there's so much tied into the house, and kind of the way that these interiors operate, and the kind of eras that it goes through, and I think, I mean, I don't I feel a very kind of strong connection to the house that I grew up in, and I think, but I don't live there anymore, so it's very interesting. I
yeah,
mean, there's like a level of like they come back to it, and they're like they're kind of okay, you're gonna get this sort of thing, but then like there's like these lines where they're saying like they're like, I want a home, and these things where there's like there is a house that we once had, and it's kind of still we're kind of in it, but we don't really have like a home. We have a house, but we
yeah,
don't have a home. Like there is the connection of the family is scattered, right? We
Yeah.
have this physical place that was once a home, but we are kind of scattered now. And
yeah,
it's very, I don't know, I really, it is such a central, like we talked about, like, okay, Stellan is the main character, but like this house is really at the center of everything, and
yeah,
kind of such a strong component of the way that everyone kind of interacts in their relationships and stuff like that.
I The house is very important in the film, obviously. I think it's a very strong metaphor without being, I would argue, without being overbearing and obvious.
Mhm.
Which like stuff like this can very easily be, I think, if you're not careful as a writer.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I was thinking about the house as um, this family object, right? That is the very significant. Obviously, it's their childhood home.
It has
Um,
sentimental value.
yeah, that has lots of sentimental value. Exactly. Yes, but I was thinking about it as like this thing that is holding. I don't want to get like trauma is a very strong word, right? But
yeah,
kind of like intergenerational trauma, uh, that is kind of like lingering over and like rooting all of our characters, right? You know, like
Yeah.
Stellan's mother killed herself in that house. That's Stellan, Gustav Borg's mother
Yeah.
yeah,
killed
Yeah.
herself in that
Right,
house,
right, right, right.
and you know, and him, and like their and him and his wife, which are our main characters, like Nora and her sister's parents, like they got a divorce in that house,
Mhm.
and then their mom died in that house,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just creating all of like this, like all this trauma that kind of exists in this house, and that's why I think it's so, I don't know, it's very strong at the end of the movie when they sell it. They sell the house
Yeah.
because that's also like Gustav Borg is trying to hold on to that too. He's trying to like the sentimental value of the house because all
Yeah.
this terrible stuff happened here, and he's like, "No, we're gonna. I have this movie that's very personal, and it has to be shot in this house, right?"
Mhm.
And then he lets go. They all let go, and then they work together, but outside of the house. I don't know.
They
It's
rebuild the house at the Netflix lot, and they
yeah.
got the
Oh,
blue
yeah.
screens, and
Um,
it's very interesting. I think that's interesting too. Like the idea of like
Well, I was thinking that it wasn't
replicating it.
Netflix at the end of the movie.
Oh, right. It's like you think of something as it's
I
they
think
lost special
there's like
camera.
a little
Is it?
detail
I
I
mean,
think
it
that
is
hints at that
pretty.
because the DP is the guy
The
who he
DP
wanted
is
He
to
is
there.
work
Yeah,
with.
sitting there.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I don't know. What is definitely like. I mean, there's a decent budget on it. They got some sort of budget on it. But yeah, it is very because you would really think it's another thing where like I feel like a worse movie would really highlight that the DP is there because
Mhm.
I don't think I'd recognize that the first
No, he's
time I
like
watched
sitting next
because
to
it's
him in the video
literally like
village.
it's like
Yeah.
he's sitting next to me
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't think I
it
noticed that the
cuts
first time.
into Stellan and then it's like oh like was like you can it doesn't really
Yeah.
like bring notice to it the fact that but the way that they're doing it in this kind of like studio like he can sit by the monitor kind of thing because
Yeah.
yeah I don't know but that's
No, I think the point you made, Doug, was also something that I thought about with the house, but it's like but then so is the point that you made, Owen, and I think that like both of them are true. I don't think that there's an idea in the movie that you can't connect back to the house. Like it's like
yeah
the
Well, there's the
every
big crack,
yes.
right?
yeah
That also is
Yeah.
like this big crack in their
hmm
family,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And so I think every single theme that you could pull out of this movie is in some way represented by the house. Um, and I think similarly to you, Owen, I felt the same way where it's like the house that I grew up in, which I don't live in anymore, is like my favorite place in the world. You know,
yeah
it's like this is obviously an exaggeration, but it feels sometimes like I literally don't go a day without thinking about the house that I grew up in. Like
yeah
I like and so much of that and so much of like my perception of my family has changed since leaving that house, right? Because it's like I was a kid and had this one view of my family that has
yeah yeah
completely shifted post moving out of that house and so I you know, again, that's like where it gets into that thing of like how much are you projecting onto the movie? Because I'm like,
sure
I do just think that the characters feel that way. Like I do think that they just
yeah
have this sentimental attachment to this place. And I guess you guys already mentioned it. I was going to ask you guys about the title, but I but
hmm
um it's already been
Well,
brought
yeah.
up.
The title's interesting. It's obviously it's a great title. Like Sentimental Value. That's a great
yeah
title for a
yeah
film. We talk about title sometimes is a great title, much better than Predator Badlands.
sure
Uh, like yeah, Sentimental Value is a really good title. And I was thinking while watching the movie, I was like, I don't think it's as specific. Like, oh, it's just the house, right? It's like in general,
Yes.
just like in general,
yeah
she's talking about like all the shit in the house, and she's like,
hmm
oh yeah, that's what she says, sentimental value, right, in the
yeah
movie. But then also like Stellan Skarsgård wanting to make a movie, or Gustav Borg wanting to make a
Yes.
movie. Gustav Borg like going and like trying to get his DP friend that
yeah
he loves to work with to make the movie
Yeah.
with him. It's his producer, right? His producing partner telling him is like, you're gonna make this movie, but you need to do it your way. Like
yeah
even that,
Yeah.
like all of this is like all of these interactions are filled with like sentiment. It's very
Yeah.
sentimental. Like,
um
I was
my
trying
favorite
to oh no, go
My
ahead.
favorite scene in the movie is when Gustav Borg is teaching his grandson how to
Yeah.
like make the movie like on his iPhone and then there's such a beautiful scene and then um he's sitting with Agnes and uh Eric is like he's like filming the trees
mhm,
by himself
mhm,
and there's such a beautiful kind of teaching him how to see and interact with the world and kind of there's this kind of generational connection we talk about him being old and kind of technology and stuff like that and him showing like using the iPhone to kind of make these little like home movies it really is like struck me I don't know there's I think a lot of the it's very interesting um because we talk about like contemporary movies and like stuff like that and like kind of head on addressing stuff. And I think like this movie works so well because it's like, hey, like this is like Netflix, and we're like directly talking about Netflix, and here's an iPhone, and like we're talking like I don't know, it's like this is happening, across the pond. Like, it's like this is like
Yeah.
happening somewhere. It's what it has that feeling of it where it's like it's not hiding from any of that, that makes it like feel real and kind of
Yeah.
richer because of it, the way that it's kind of using um 2025 like
Yeah.
reality,
And
and the like real shit that's like connecting us or kind of separating us.
right. And it's funny because, like, oh, cool. Because before, Doug, you mentioned how the characters are like, they talk in a way that's very honest.
Yeah.
But also that's like they also are part of a culture that we don't understand, and I wonder if that is just, like,
Yeah,
commonplace for
right,
them
right.
because I'm like, the movie just like, everybody in the movie just feels real, so I'm like,
Mhm.
maybe that is just how
Yeah,
they
yeah.
talk, I don't know. The other thing and the thing I wanted to mention that is just like a random tangent, but it's funny that Doug specifically picked this movie. When you mentioned the title, you said Predator Badlands, and thank God it was, like, literally 20 seconds into the movie and I was watching a movie I had already seen, but a guy like 2 rows in front of me with his girlfriend was watching this movie, and 20 seconds into the movie when the voiceover narration started, walked down to the end of the row, tapped someone on the shoulder and was like, is this Predator Badlands? Shook his head
That's
no, and he waved over to his
funny.
girlfriend and they left the theater and I assume went to go find the
That's
theater that
so
um
funny.
Predator Badlands is playing. But you know
Awesome.
what? Good for him for picking up on it immediately because I don't know how you could watch the beginning of this movie and be like, is this
It's such a
Predator
beautiful beginning
Badlands?
too. It's such a beautiful opening. Like,
It's like the Predator just lives in a house, like in a
yeah,
normal
yeah,
house, like it is. No, I just it's really funny that that's the title that you picked out of all of the options. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up about sentimental value? Just the fact that there are
um,
a million things that you guys
no,
wanna
I
bring up
know, it's
about
like,
sentimental
it
value.
feels
Is there any, like, pressing, thing that you wanna squeeze in on the podcast at least?
depressing.
I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie
Yeah,
is
let's do that. Let's do
uh
scenes.
is Gustav Borg and Rachel Kemp on the beach, and as the
Oh,
sun
yeah.
as
Oh,
the sun
yeah.
is rising, they've obviously not to say that they're kindred souls or anything, but it's obvious that they really fancy each other,
Sure.
and they're obviously having a really great time, and it feels like it's maybe the first time in a while where Gustav Borg has felt seen by somebody, right?
Mhm.
And Rachel Kemp feels like that she is maybe being approached as like a normal person by somebody that she respects.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
and the beautiful clouds, obviously, and the sky, pink
Yeah,
sky. Yeah.
it's
yeah, yeah.
beautiful. And I wanna go back, like, a couple minutes before that. I think, like, when it cuts and then we're in the movie,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and
Oh, God.
and then it cuts out and he's kind of so emotional by his own work and kind of seeing it after, is it 20 25 years,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then like him doing that interview, and I think also like when you're talking about Rachel Kemp, being this like, you know popular actress, and him kind of, you get the sense like, okay, this is a filmmaker that kind of has fallen out of style in a way. Like he's like, oh, I'm doing well. I'm screening here and here, but like, he's not, his best days are behind him, and talk about like filmmakers being left behind and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's very interesting relationship that they have, and he's kind of going through so much in that viewing process, but after that, and kind of this, I there's a he says a line of something about like, I thought I was making a movie, or thought I was working on something, but it's, and that's a very interesting kind of process, a place to be in, where it's like, okay, I don't know if I'll ever make a movie again.
Yeah, well, he wrote this whole movie, right? And but in his mind, he was like, "Oh, this is like I made this. It was about my family, right?
Yeah,
I like
no,
I made it.
yeah,
It's about as through the process of writing it, it obviously became about his daughter, and he
mhm,
recognized that, and he was
yeah,
like, "Well, my daughter's an actress, and if she can't,
and she's not gonna do it.
yeah." But then
It's
he
like
like meets Rachel Kemp, and like they get along, and he's like,
yeah.
"Maybe you could be my daughter." It's very strange, but like
Yeah,
that's probably that's like what
yeah.
was happening, like
Well, it I mean, there's also, like, it's like, okay, there's clearly a want, there's a desire for to bring Nora back, like, to get something, like,
Mhm.
there's a hole in his heart, there's a hole in his life, and his relationship with his daughter is not in the place that he wants it to be, and he is, like, trying to rekindle that or kind of make that into something that it hasn't been, and then it is like, okay, if she doesn't wanna do that, like, can I get something similar in someone else? Is it possible to like, like I don't know. There's something like where it's like it's very interesting because we talk about like actresses and actors and like the way that they kind of function in his practice and his like in his kind of life, but then also like he's like, okay, you have to be my daughter. Like, you have to function as my daughter in my life for this moment. And like
yeah,
kind of being like, I fucked up, like I don't have that. So how do I like try to like replicate that? And ultimately I was like, this isn't gonna work. Like we actually can't like it's very interesting like where she's like, I can't do this movie. Like, it's wrong. Like, it's not working. She tries, like, to do the accent and all this, like, stuff, and he's really like, "Maybe if you dye your hair, it'll work." Like, it's like they're going through it and they're rehearsing, and it's like, "This isn't working." And it is like,
yeah.
okay, it's very interesting. Like, the whole process of, like, trying and kind of pushing through and trying to force something that just isn't working.
That scene was very beautiful, where um very respectful to actors, I would say broadly, where Rachel Kemp approaches him and is like, "Hey, like I don't want to do the movie anymore." And she kind of explain very emotionally and very like that scene is just like beaming with empathy, right?
Yeah.
Because she's saying it's like, I there is something artistically wrong with this.
Mhm.
Like there is like I feel like that I am not translating like this character that you've created properly,
Yeah.
and I think that you also know this, like
Mhm.
artistically, like I think that we both know there's a disconnect here, and I'm
Yeah.
trying really hard and I want to work with you, but like it's like you're saying, like it's
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah,
But I
that
think
is
also it's very interesting because he says, like, "If you want me to stay, like, I will stay. Like, if
right.
you really think that this is right, I will do the movie, even if I think it's wrong. But I think it's wrong, and I think you think it's wrong too."
Yeah, exactly, right. It's so much empathy and respect in that scene, and then
Yeah,
also like that goes into kind of an understanding of filmmaking in the sense where like an actor's job broadly in a narrative film
yeah,
is to translate something, like is to interpret, rather not translate, is to interpret something, right? They're an artist, they like say the lines and they internalize the character and then they physically interpret it onto screen,
mhm,
they're not, despite what some older directors might think, actors aren't props, you
yeah,
could
yeah,
use them as props, but like let's like the performance is like is an interpretation, right? And but to have like you have to have faith in your film director to tell you that like, oh, actually you could do better or you could do XYZ,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like for them, because it's like an actor is like their job also sometimes they don't care. Like, do you think that Millie Bobby Brown on the set of no, I'm serious. Do you think that Millie Bobby Brown on the set of Damsel isn't like taking like serious notes from the director? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, um,
yeah. I mean, it's like, partially, like, it goes into, like, the big thing where it's like, I don't know the percentage or, like, the actual exact saying, but it's like, so much of performance and or it's all casting. Like, so much of it is casting, And it's interesting when it's like, okay, you wrote this movie for someone that is the only person that can play it, and then you're trying to cast that role without them. And it's like you could get the best actress in the world, but you wrote this for somebody else. And so it's like I mean, like we talked about Wicked last week. Michelle Yeoh, she's a good actress, but like it's like you can't just like put a good actress in a movie and be like, okay, but play this role. Like she's not meant for that. Like, it's like it's casting is so important, and it can, bad casting can really side way track a movie. And that kind of comes into the thing where it's like he meets this actress that he never would have thought he could have worked with, but it doesn't matter because she's not right for the movie.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's like it's not that she's not talented, she's just not right for the movie.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Uh, I'll say to wrap up, I because you guys mentioned favorite scenes,
Yeah, yeah.
I think I have like five of them, and
Let's
every one
just
of them
rat.
has
I want to
been.
hear.
Well, every one of them I think has been mentioned. I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
started by talking about the scene where she sees her grandma being tortured, which I think is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You mentioned the when he's teaching him how to film on the iPhone, which is
Mhm.
another one of my favorites. You mentioned Elle Fanning coming to him and talking about how she doesn't want to be in the movie anymore,
Yeah.
which is another one of my favorites. And then of course there's the scene between the two sisters when she brings the script to her,
Yeah.
and especially, I mean, you talked about that part with the script, but especially the part after where they're together, like in the bed, and they're talking to each other is
Oh,
like
yeah.
so good. So I'll add that in as well.
Yeah. I
But
think the I think it's some of his like straight up like strongest flourishes as a director is when you have the Gustav Borg's mother killing herself, then you have Elle Fanning going through the blocking,
Hmm.
and then you have Rena Reisva like actually performing it
yeah,
in the soundstage studio,
yeah,
and like to me that is like that kind of blew me away when I first watched it. Where I was like, okay, this is this is just something that I haven't really seen from him, and it's
right,
really working for me.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll
because
say
I
this,
was
it
just kind
really
of
worked for the whole
I
movie really
I was
worked.
like, okay, yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't listen to. I sent a listener. I sent Owen and Kevin the DGA,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Frank Oz interview with um the director.
Joachim
What's
yeah,
Trier.
his name? Yeah, Wogan Trier.
Yogi,
Um something that I think was interesting for him to say was that he said when he was thinking during the scenes, the stuff that Gustav Borg directed in the movie,
yeah.
that they directed for it, he said that he had to think about like what would a better filmmaker
No, yeah, it's
do.
so funny. He was like, Gustav Borg is a better filmmaker than me, so he
Yeah,
really
so he
like
was like, I
up.
have to try really
I gotta
hard.
up my game, and that's what it
Yeah,
feels like. It feels like okay, this is like he's like upping his game here. Like this is something
Yeah.
like this is a flourish that like he hasn't done before. And I
yeah,
mean, he says it there, and it's like I don't know. I was really like, there's so much going into this movie that's like okay, wow, like it really is does feel like, and I like his other movies, but like there's a step like it's like okay, let's try to push it. Like when he says that, he's like okay, I'm pushing myself.
Mhm.
And I think I mean it's a combination of a billion things, but it is I mean, the performances and the writing and kind of, but there it does feel like an active kind of push for something stronger. Um, and I think it really gets it hits that goes there.
yeah.
Um,
Uh, I'll say it's possible, and I don't know that this, I'll have to really rack my brain. It's possible this is just my favorite movie of the year. I was thinking about it
It's
after
Owen's favorite
watching
movie of
it.
the year. Yeah.
Yeah, after leaving the theater today, I was like, because and granted, the two other movies that I would even put in contention with this, I haven't even gotten a chance to see them twice yet. So seeing this twice really like
wait, what movies?
um gives it the one battle after another, and the Mastermind. Um,
Oh, interesting.
because Mastermind, another movie that I saw at New
Inc-
York Film Festival, which technically I could have gone
another
and seen again in theaters,
incredible
although
movie.
um,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's people. There's been a lot of chatter, but I don't know. This has been such a good year where
yeah,
I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't.
people.
It's
I
tough. I
keep
don't.
seeing people say this is a bad year. I keep seeing that.
Yeah, I'm like drowning in
I'm
riches. That's how
no,
I
I
feel.
know,
It's
and
like
there
I feel
are
like Daniel, like you said, like this is my favorite movie of the year. It's like there's like fucking 10 movies, and I'm
no,
like,
I know,
like
I
it's
feel
like
that
there's
way
a shit ton of
strongly.
movies where I'm like, these movies are so fucking good. It's
Especially because there are movies that I just like I need to think about again. I was thinking today
yeah.
before this movie, the trailer for The Secret Agent played before this movie. I don't know if it did for you guys, but
Yeah,
the
that looks
trailer for
really
The
good.
Secret Agent played and I saw it at New York Film Festival and I loved it. And I was watching that trailer and I was like, is this the movie of the year? I was like, this is the best trailer fucking ever. And I was just like, I need to like that movie comes
Yeah.
out in theaters next month. I mean, it'll be this month when this episode drops. Like there are movies coming out in December, including movies I've seen already. Where I'm
Oh
like, when I
yeah. I
watch these again, like same thing with No Other Choice, of course. Was just like I was like,
yeah
I've only
yeah.
seen that movie once. I'm like, I can't just watch that movie once, you know.
No,
So,
it's kind of crazy because like I'm saying it feels like there's so much, but like it's November 30th when we record this, and like there's certain things that we haven't seen so far, but like Marty Supreme and Avatar 3. Like there's some like
yeah,
really
I
like
mean,
the movies that
like
there are movies that
potentially
we
the
like.
best movie of the year hasn't
That's
even
what I'm saying.
come
Well,
out.
there's movies that we were like at the beginning of when we do our like beginning of the year, like okay, this could be like one of the best movies of the year, and we still haven't seen them, and
Yeah,
it's like it already feels like a really. I mean, I don't know. Everyone's gonna have their own different years are probably gonna be. I mean, of course, gonna be different for different people because of taste and whatnot. But for me, it feels like it could
yeah,
have been a
it's really
bad
stood
year.
out. And speaking of, we could before we move on talk about a couple awards because that
Yeah,
has to do with every movie that comes out this year. Um, both of these movies we talked about are contenders in a bunch of categories, although
yeah.
they to varying degrees. Let me quickly, and again, we did this last week, but these odds are always changing. Let me quickly run through the top 10 expert best picture odds because they have changed. So from 1 to 10, number one, One Battle After Another, still there. Sinners, number two. Hamnet has dropped to number three. Uh, Marty Supreme has gone up to number four. And Sentimental Value, though it dropped as low as number six, I think, is now back up to number five. It was early in the year as high as like number three. It was kind of a three movie race for a while between One Battle After Another, Hamnet, and Sentimental Value. And then Sentimental Value fell out of that three movie race. It's now going up again. And maybe this has to do with the fact that it's being released theatrically right now.
Yeah.
Uh, but it is now up to number five. Our movie last week that we talked about, Wicked for Good, is at number six. Frankenstein's at number seven. It Was Just an Accident is at number eight. The movie we just mentioned, none of us have seen yet, Avatar Fire and Ash, is at number nine. And Train Dreams is at number 10. So that's the top 10 uh, expert
Fuck
best picture
out of
odds.
here.
Movies right on the border are Jay Kelly and Begonia. Um,
Get Begonia in there. Get in there.
you say that, but between those two, the much more likely one is Jay Kelly.
No, I know. I
um,
think I'll like Jay Kelly. It's not out yet though.
yeah, well,
When does that come out?
it's
Soon.
we're gonna be talking about it very soon.
I have
And
positive.
by very soon, I mean literally next week. but
Yeah.
but that's the top 10 for best picture. I don't know if you guys have opinions about either of those where those two movies stand in that ranking.
Call Best
Um,
Picture right now. What's winning
didn't we do
right
this
now?
last
Both
week?
of you. I don't, no, probably not.
I
Maybe.
don't
I
know.
don't
I
fucking
mean,
remember.
it's
I
like,
don't.
yeah, I think One Battle After Another
Legit.
is winning. I just like, I really don't know that it's ever going to lose momentum. It's getting that 70 millimeter re-release this month. I like, they're pushing hard. I mean, I will say it's interesting that, and again, this is all based on like speculation and awards predictor sites and not what's actually happening behind the scenes. But it's interesting that Sinners is at number two. It's like it was One Battle After Another versus Hamnet, and the
I
we
think it's
talked a
probably
lot about how
still
Sinners came out early in the
One Battle
year.
After Another versus Hamlet.
Um, it's at number two. So I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
that's worth
I
thinking
don't
about.
know how true that is, TBH. I think it's very I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Oh,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like, who knows?
yeah.
But I just think that that's, I think the
You
fact that
know,
it's at number two is interesting.
I'll tell you
Um,
this, I think One Battle After Another should win 15 Oscars. So,
and you know what? I agree.
um,
Yeah, I don't know. But that's the best picture race. Maybe we could quickly look through some of these other races because we talked about acting with sentimental value, especially. So it's
Yeah,
worth
yeah.
talking about where they fall in that, and even directing. I'll say Joachim Trier is number 4 for best director, so he would, in theory, be getting a nomination if this top 5 were to be the
Yeah.
ones getting
No, I
nominated,
think
which would
he
be
should.
wait, is the top
um,
5, let me guess. It's PTA, it is Ryan Coogler,
at number 3.
it's
You missed number 2.
Chloe Zhao,
Yep, that's number 2. I just
um,
said Joachim Trier is
yeah,
number 4.
Joachim Trier,
Number
and
5, I don't know if you're gonna guess right away. You think, but
John M.
um,
Chu.
no. No,
oh,
this is
that
a good director.
okay.
This
Oh,
is
my
a
bad. My
much
bad.
better
My
director than
bad.
John
My
M.
bad.
Chu. This is a movie that was in that top 10 best picture that I named, although it's kind of like surprisingly in there.
I don't remember what you said.
It's
Oh,
Jafar Panahi, for it was just
oh,
Oh,
Jafar
interesting.
Panahi,
Wow,
okay.
wow. That'd
yeah,
That would
be
be great, that would
at
be
number
good.
5.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Number 6, right on the border, and number 7 are Josh Safdie and Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
get
So
out
we'll
of
see.
town.
But that's best director. Joachim Trier's in there. I don't think Train Dreams really is competing in that category. Best actress all year has, at least in award speculation, been a 2-person race between Jessie Buckley and Renata Reinsva. Those
Yes.
are still the top 2. Although
Yeah.
there are other
It does
contenders,
feel
of
like
course, Cynthia
Buckley's going to
Yeah,
Erivo,
lose.
eh,
Amanda Seyfried, Rose Byrne.
yeah. It
But
does feel like it's, Jessie Buckley is gonna just have,
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys think post
oh.
Hamnet and about that race because I think especially I'm the only one that's seen both movies. I think especially after watching Sentimental Value a second time, uh, might have some opinions.
Oh. I mean,
I don't know.
it's Ron Reisman, very good in that movie,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's a tough.
yeah,
I
she is.
mean,
It's also, I mean, there's there are 2 actresses in the top 5 whose movies I don't think any of us have seen. Amanda Seyfried and Rose Byrne.
Oh,
no, I
yeah.
need to see The Kicking.
If I had legs, I'd
Yep,
kick you.
same. I need to see the picture as well.
And none of us have seen Testament of Van Lee, so that's interesting if
Yes, yes,
those if
yes.
they get
I
nominated.
I've been watching The
Um,
Return, Twin Peaks: The Return, and Amanda
mhm,
Seyfried is very good in that. So that's my
Mm.
yeah.
yeah. Uh, Best actor is I don't think relevant for these movies. Well, okay, maybe I was
Evan?
wrong. Joel Edgerton is just on the brink. He's at number 6, so he's not in the top 5.
Unreal.
Um,
You gotta be kidding me.
but he's at number 6. I will say, I think the top 5. I think you should just. This is like based on predictors, like where they stand. You should just lock in this top 5. Give them nominate. Like this is like to me the perfect, the ideal
Ethan
lineup would be
Slater as
Leonardo
Bach.
DiCaprio, Timothy Chalamet, Michael B. Jordan, Wagner Moura, and Ethan Hawke. I think
Oh
that
my
would be a
yeah.
perfect lineup.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
really good.
There you go.
Anyway, so yeah, best actor not very, I guess a little bit relevant. Best supporting actress is very relevant for sentimental value at least.
No
Uh
Jeremy Allen White? Is that
oh,
what
for best
happened?
actor, he
No,
has dropped
old boy is
to
yeah, I don't you don't
number
hear much
8.
about Jeremy Allen White these days.
You don't
He's
hear
dropped
much
to
about
number
Jeremy
8.
Allen White these
You
days.
know who's at well, not only is Joel Edgerton ahead of him, George Clooney passed him even,
Oh,
is at number
wow.
7 for Jay
Yeah.
Kelly. Dwayne Johnson's down to number 9.
Yeah, poor
Yeah,
So
that
guy.
was a bad
I
bet
think
on
Doug
my
had a
part.
pretty yeah, you had a
That was
pretty
like
bold
he's
Yeah.
winning,
prediction about
but
No,
yeah.
Dwayne
I
Johnson
was like
is
Dwayne
not.
Johnson's going to win, but I think that
Yeah.
movie has been forgotten a bit. It's not bad. The
Yeah.
movie's not bad, but
Best supporting actress, like I was saying, we've already last week we talked about how it was an Ariana Grande versus Tiana Taylor battle.
Yeah.
But Sentimental Value, in theory, would get 2 nominations here. Inga Abe's daughter Lilius is at number 3, and Elle Fanning is at number 5, which is last week Doug talked about how Amy Madigan better not get nominated. Last week, Amy Madigan was at number 5. She has passed Elle Fanning for the
Oh
4th
my
spot.
low
goodness.
key, give the award to Elle Fanning, bro. Let's lock in. Let's lock.
I don't know. I really still just think Inga is like so good in this movie. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like every scene she's in is just like so important to me. But yeah, they're both terrific. Gwyneth Paltrow sits at number 6 right now for Marty Supreme, which I think is also, yeah, Regina Hall was number 6 before. Now she's number 7, and Gwyneth Paltrow has moved up to number 6. So
Yeah, Regina Hall is not enough in the movie, probably.
yeah. And here's very significant award. I think the one that probably out of all the ones we've talked about so far, one of these movies has the best chance of winning. Best supporting actor, Stellan Skarsgård is still number 1. He should just get the Oscar. I think they
Yeah,
should just decided not. I don't know. I mean, it's between him and Sean Penn, and it has been really all
Yeah.
year.
Oh wow.
That's
I would
been the
toss it
battle.
to Sean Penn, but
Yeah,
also but
it's
it's tough
hard.
because I think One Battle After Another is just, like, one of the greatest movies of all time. But I think,
Yeah,
um,
it's difficult.
also
Uh,
Stellan Skarsgård, man, he should run and lead, bro. He he's
I
not, but
I
he
don't
just
know that
should
his
campaign and
I
be
Lee
don't
an
think
Lee
his
actor.
odds are
Lee's
better
kind
in
of a
that category.
crazy
Did you hear
looking dog.
the list that I read to you
No, I
before?
know,
I
I
don't
know.
That shit is
he's
fucking
not
evil.
winning that the fact that he's number 1 in this category
He
is
don't got no
I
Marty
think
Supreme
I
blimps
think
out there. Huh?
clearly
It's like there's it's,
yeah.
there,
I
there's levels.
I wonder if I don't know. The Oscars work in mysterious ways, but it just like when you think about the idea of like legacy awards, I wonder if if
Oh,
it
yeah,
gives
I just looked at yeah,
Stellan
he's never
Skarsgård the edge because Sean Penn is just a multiple time Oscar winner. Like
yeah, and
I
Stellan
don't know.
Skarsgård's
I
never won an Oscar,
Yeah, I think it's just
which is crazy.
yeah, he's terrific. Also my boy at
Wait,
number
what
3,
would he
Paul Mescal at number 3. So
what
something to
would
keep in
he have
mind.
won for?
For
Um
supporting?
yeah, for Hamnet.
Okay, yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I don't know. Oh, okay. Screenplay worth mentioning. Train Dreams is at number 5 for best adapted screenplay. Kind of insane, Be-
Hey, just
given
like
what we
read the
said
book,
about
man. Then
the screenplay. And then for best original screenplay, Sentimental Value is at number 1.
yeah, I mean,
So
and come on.
it seems at least based on these odds that it's a two movie race for best original screenplay between Sentimental Value and Sinners, which I mean I also really like the Sinners
Yep.
screenplay, so I wouldn't be upset about that. Also, best casting is a new Oscar this
Oh yeah.
year, and Sentimental Value is number 4 for that. So
What's one?
uh,
One
take a
Battle After
guess.
Another.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
um,
Which, should probably win, but Sentimental Value's
yeah,
also just right
It's
there.
tough to like
Um,
be gauged. I mean, it's like okay,
right.
I don't know. It's I think it's like casting is interesting because like it depends on what you're working with.
yeah.
You know.
I think One Battle After Another has the Chase Infinity, like, discovery.
Yes, that's I
Uh,
mean
In its
it's big.
favor,
yeah.
Yeah,
and
which I think
I
that's like
mean
the
it's
bigger part of it to me because it's like I mean when you're PTA and you're like, oh hey Leo,
Well, yeah, yeah, Leo,
like,
Sean
I don't know.
Penn, like, have
Can
these,
you
like,
like
generational actors be in
can
the
you
movie,
count
yeah.
like calling Sean Penn up?
Right, yeah.
How I
But
don't know.
also
It's
all
like
the supporting performances are like
oh
the
no,
thing that
I
One
mean
Battle
that's the
After
thing. It's
Another
like
has going for it is
oh yeah,
like
no, I know.
even the scenes like there's been a lot of people talking about those scenes with like the Christmas adventurers,
Yeah,
it's like
no, I think
those are
that's where
so well cast, right? Like it's like there's just like top to
that's the
bottom, it's
money.
such a
That's
good
the money
it's
right
just
there.
yeah, it's kind of hard to compete with. But I feel similarly about these other I mean Sinners is number 2. It's like that movie is I think
Yeah,
perfectly cast as well. So I don't
yeah, it's
even those
tough.
like
I
very
it's
small supporting
it's
performances in
hard.
Sinners are great. The last one I'll mention here before we move on, best cinematography, Train Dreams is at number 5.
What's
Um,
one?
take a
One
guess.
Battle After Another.
Jesus Christ.
Is Sentimental Value, where's that for best
Sentimental Value is
cinematography?
not in the top 5. It is oh gosh.
Not in the top 10?
I
Ooh.
don't think it's on the list.
They're hating on
Where's
It
Frankenstein?
is at number 59.
Where's
Jesus
Um,
Frankenstein?
Christ.
Where's
but
Frankenstein?
again, it's
59.
worth noting that 59 is just as high as 14 because all those movies have a 0%
Okay.
chance according to these odds. So technically
Yeah,
it's just a movie with a 0% chance like all the other ones.
okay.
Um what was the movie you asked about?
Shocking,
Frankenstein
shocking.
is at
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is at number 4.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Not
Real
not a,
serious
not
shit
an
going on here. Fucking.
not to say that the Oscars are good at giving out awards. Best cinematography, probably some of their worst work. um,
Well, best
uh,
cinematography is usually a pretty good like
well,
like list of nominees.
sure, but it's like I don't know. It's I think it's one of those things where it's like lots of undeserving nominees very often. It doesn't mean that they like get everything wrong, but I
Yeah.
talk about documentary a lot where I'm like, yeah, documentary is one of those awards that
Yeah.
they like they always have to nominate one movie that sucks. Like it feels that way with cinematography where it's just like one movie that is so clearly not deserving is going to find its way into the mix. Anyway, that's all for awards talk. Let's quickly move on before we talk about the news. I'll remind everybody to share some feedback. If you like listening to us talk about sentimental value and train dreams, you can like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. You could rate the episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and you could follow us at all of the links in the episode description. Not a ton of news this week, but some things worth talking about. I guess we'll start with something that kind of goes beyond just movies. Rush Hour 4 has been greenlit at Paramount with Brett Ratner attached, and thanks in part to Donald Trump pressuring the Ellisons to revive the franchise um, for his buddy Brett.
His buddy
Uh,
Brett.
This is good because the stars of that franchise need jobs. So this is good. This is good. Just
um,
stimulating the Hollywood
yeah,
economy.
that's painting this as a good thing is like, I guess that's the only way you could do it, right? That's the only angle.
Um,
It's bizarre for sure. So
um, Yeah, I don't know. It's not yeah, it's weird. It's like
it's
there's
weird.
not really a nice way to be like, yeah, this guy the president just like pressured a movie to happen for his friend who is like a sex pest. Um yeah, I don't know. It's like a weird time that we're living in.
Shit.
uh,
Oh,
bro,
again.
when's the last time Brett Ratner worked? What's the last movie he
He
directed?
just did the Melania documentary.
Oh,
Yeah, well, that's exactly, yes. That's why,
oh,
that, like I said, they are literally buddies. Like he literally just is doing a favor
It's
for his
like I
friend.
like make a documentary about your wife. Like, can you get like Rush Hour 4 greenlit?
I
He's
mean,
like,
that's
oh,
like that's what
well,
happens.
yeah, bro.
the last movie before this, I don't. He might have done TV or something, but the last movie he directed before this was the Hercules movie from 2014.
Oh,
With
right.
Dwayne Rock.
Yeah, Dwayne Rock.
Yeah, that movie's bad.
But
Yeah, I've still never seen
that's
that.
like well over
That
10
was
years
a
ago. That's
classic.
crazy.
Yeah,
Throw that one on the sleepover movie.
Man, he's done like zero
easy
work
for you.
in film. Again, he might have done TV stuff, but in film, he's done like zero work since COVID started. You
Yeah,
Yeah,
know,
man. I mean,
and he
a lot
he
of us.
probably shouldn't be doing any work, period.
no, yeah, I mean, this is
But
crazy.
he and somehow life finds a way. Um,
No, but you guys love Rush Hour though, right? That's like Owen's thing.
Owen really likes Rush Hour.
Yeah.
I
Rush
have
Hour 2.
um I've only recently rewatched the first one, and I did really like rewatching the first one. I'd have to go back and watch 2 and 3, I guess.
3, Roman Polanski's in 3. It's kind of bad. Not even that part, but that movie's kind of weird. But 2 is incredible, but like
Right.
that came out it's a long time ago.
Yeah. No,
And
yeah,
everyone's
that
kind
is
of old and weird now, so it's like
right.
then now
True.
I
Uh
don't know. I'm like interested in like the whole like you know Trump push like
yeah.
I just bizarre. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I mean
bizarre.
that's the real story here. The movie is not even like
Yeah.
necessarily the story. The story is just like how the movie is being made.
Yeah, and Jackie Chan's interesting too because he kind of stopped working in America, basically.
Well,
Right.
Like he was in the
I'm
Karate
also
Kid
thinking
movies,
about
but
it like this whole like they're like, wait, what? Like the people like it's like, oh, we like the movie's not getting made, and then they get a call from like the team where it's like where Jackie Chan gets the call and it's like, okay, Donald Trump made it go through. It's like what? Like what is everyone on board? Like because Brett Ratner obviously has that connection, but like not
Yeah.
everybody who was going to work on that movie or like was originally signed on to work on that movie uh has a connection with Donald Trump. You know, it's like I'd be interested to be like people would be like, I don't actually want to be involved in this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just a bizarre situation that is very singular.
It is bizarre.
Like I don't know, it's just like what other movies are gonna get made? Is this gonna be a common thing that's gonna happen? Are we gonna get
No, it's not going to be a common thing
No,
to
I
happen.
think it's just a favor for a friend. I think he's got. I don't
every
know. I
couple
mean,
months we get a new
he's
Donald
talked a
Trump.
lot about the film industry in the past.
Yeah, what happened to
Um,
John Voight and the team that was
they're
gonna
working behind the scenes. You know, not
No, they're
everybody. Not
not.
everybody.
They're not doing anything, bro.
Some people work in silence. You know, some people just watch
yeah,
Yeah,
and
John
that's John
watch
Voight
their
and his
games in
like
the future.
Gotham ass like video message is not one of them. That guy.
No.
that
And
is-
it's like I'm
Um,
looking at Jackie Chan's filmography. He really, granted, Jackie Chan is like a weird homophobic old man. He he only works in China now, basically.
yeah,
He came back to America to do that Karate Kid thing, but like other than that, these are all Chinese productions since
yeah,
COVID. This is crazy.
yeah. Our next piece of news here has it's a big impact on the podcast. Future projects set in the Wicked universe are underway. If you
Hmm.
guys remember, just last week, Doug and I
yeah,
placed
wow.
a $10 wager on the future of the Wicked franchise. Though this and Owen and I talked about this in private. I think
Yeah.
what Doug was suggesting is a third Wicked movie, a direct sequel. And this piece of news says future projects in the Wicked universe. And
Oh
so I
man.
think if it is announced that there is some sort of spin-off, but that isn't a continuation of this story in the second movie, technically Doug does not win the bet. So
It's
something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's kind of like a. We'll have to see what
Yeah,
happens,
we'll have
I
to see what
guess.
the future project
Yeah.
is. But if the future
yeah.
project is Wicked 3, then Doug does get $10 from me.
Well,
If
I
the
will
future
say
project is you know, just some
I feel like
movie
it's
about
not gonna be
Munchkin
Wicked
Land,
3.
you
Wicked for
know.
Good wasn't called Wicked 2. So, like, I mean,
Yes. Well, it was
Yes, but Madame Morrible, the
if the
spin-off movie.
what if the third movie's called Wicked subtitle? I think it'll probably count, but we'll see.
Wicked.
okay.
Munchkin politics.
Munchkin politics.
Yep. Here's another piece of somewhat significant news. Scarlett Johansson is set to star in the next installment of The Exorcist from writer-director Mike Flanagan.
Did
What's
we
up
not
with
talk about this on the podcast already?
I
no?
think we talked about the existence of this movie, but not her casting.
She's in a weird spot,
This
right?
she's in such a bizarre spot. Um,
um
she's so good at acting. I don't know, like I don't know. This is
Yeah.
strange. Her post Avengers career is not like her post Black Widow career is like not awesome.
Yeah. And her during Avengers career isn't awesome either.
Well, no, yeah, but you would think that like it would be. I mean, she got so much money, um, doing that stuff. You would like. I mean, granted, she was in Ashwood City, incredible performance, incredible role, right?
Right.
You would think that she would like kind of seek out something to I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know
Hey
what people with
man,
money like though?
More
Mike
money.
More money.
Flanagan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe you know what? Maybe part of it is like there's just not a lot of movies in Hollywood. Like not a lot of because that's the other thing. She's a leading lady. There's not a lot of like Hollywood leading roles for women in her
Oh
like
yeah.
age range. You know.
Mhm.
Um,
And
I think
I mean it's just the where we are and like the amount of even movies that are worth being in at that level. And it's kind of like, okay, like this is like a real ish, like I don't know, it's Mike Flanagan, like people like him,
yeah.
like it's The Exorcist,
Yeah.
it's
It's like yeah,
but
she
like
could. be in Wes Anderson movies,
Yeah.
but Wes Anderson's only making like one movie every few years,
I make
like so.
$10
Right.
on that
It's
movie.
Yeah,
also, yeah, I think Owen's making a good point, which is that our perception of Mike Flanagan is not the universal
Yeah,
perception of Mike
but it is
Flanagan as
true. Like,
a
I
very
mean,
respected
no, I
writer,
don't think Mike
director,
Flanagan's like
musician.
stupid, like dumb. I think
yeah,
that this project is stupid, but that's like kind
Sure.
of more,
but
more removed from him.
I
Like,
think it's interesting because they're like we're talking about like it's such a bad spot where like people aren't even writing movies for Scarlett Johansson.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like it's like what you know.
Yeah.
no, it's true.
It's like
Um,
That's
it's tough
tough.
out there. It's tough out there. Or she's like, I guess I'll be the Exorcist.
Yeah, I guess I'll be The Exorcist.
in a Hollywood Reporter interview, Brady Corbet gave us some details about his next movie, which include
Yeah,
that it will be X-rated, entirely shot on 70 millimeter, and spanning from the 19th century to the modern day, though mostly taking place in the 1970s. He also shut down rumors of any connection to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or this being some sort of slasher film. He said that that is
boo,
not
boo,
true.
fuck Brady.
Um,
Take away his mic, low key. Stop
Yeah,
asking him
it
questions.
was like it's fucking well. There's cocks and balls in it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
okay, I don't
there's
know.
cock
Like
I'm
and balls
oh
in
excited.
the
man,
last
I'm
one.
interested to see what his next movie is. I think The Brutalist was great. I don't know if history is remembering that movie very well, but I like that movie a lot still, and
Yeah,
I think about that movie a lot. And that movie, I feel like as a filmmaker, he must have learned so much, like
yeah.
so much while making that movie.
yeah,
He must have
I'm just
lost his shit.
no, yeah, so I'm
He's,
interested. Of
I
course, I
think
want to see
he's
like
probably
what's the one
died.
after this. How do you take what
right.
you learned and turn it into something else? Like, yeah, I'm interested. But
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But I'm assuming you guys think that X rating will not stick.
I think that
What is even?
it's giving the vibe of like you like to hear your own voice a little bit. Like
Yeah,
let me tell you what I'm
It's
working
gonna be
on.
fucking X-rated.
Bro, I'm working on something
yeah,
crazy. It's gonna take place like every throughout all of time, and it's gonna be porn, and it's gonna be shot on 100 millimeter.
yeah.
Wow.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see that. That's what fucking. We'll wait. I mean, we'll be here.
Yeah. No last piece of news here, but I want to play a little bit of a game that I
Oh
don't think will
wow.
go very well.
Okay.
Well, I tried to make it a better game, and then
That's
sadly
you're selling me too
your
hard.
guys' letterbox did not allow for it. Variety named the 100 best comedy movies of all time this
Oh
past week.
Jesus
The
Christ.
Naked
Um,
Gun.
at No, I'm not going to ask you the movies
Okay,
on the list. That would
okay.
be
Is that the number one movie?
I was trying to look at all of our highest rated comedy movies to
Oh,
see
me and
and put
Owen don't watch.
together a
I
list
really don't watch a lot of
for
comedies.
you guys to guess. However, because Owen doesn't use 5 stars, I tried to use his 4.5 stars, and sadly, way too many 4.5 star comedies. So instead,
Oh, too many.
I'm gonna make you guys compete to see who can guess more of the 13 5 star comedies that I have
What?
rated on Letterboxd.
Super bad.
Rapid fire, and Owen's already got a point. You feel free to yell them out, and whoever can get. I don't think you'll get all
What
13
the fuck?
because we're going off Letterboxd genre, and you might not
This is
think
all
of some of
time.
these.
This is all time.
Yes, there's 13 5 star movies according to Letterboxd that are
It's
comedies.
like something like I'm
Um,
thinking like these like the beginners or like
uh,
what are these
you
like
are correct. Yeah,
yeah
Owen's got 2
Oh
points.
yeah.
like what is
What's that movie you like? 13 Reasons Why. What's that? What's that? What the fuck's it called?
oh my favorite comedy movie.
Um,
I
with the Joker. What's the movie you like with Heath Ledger?
I mean, I
What the fuck's it called? I have no idea.
Owen knows the name, but I feel like he wants to give you the point for the spirit of competition. So I almost want to give you the point for the spirit of
You could put a
competition.
gun to my head and I have to name it and I'll die. Like I cannot think
That's
of what the
actually
movie's
kind of
called.
crazy to me.
Like
I feel
I
like this should
cannot
just be
think of what the movie's
so
called.
easy to think of.
The
Not just
What's it
because
Joker.
I
called?
like it, but just because it's like such
Oh
a popular
man.
movie. I
No,
just
I
feel like
know.
it's
I could see the
uh,
poster. What's it called? 13 something. What's it called?
Like if I give you the number, do you think you'll be able to get it? Because it's not
7
13.
things that you hate about me. What's it called?
10 things I hate about you.
10 things I hate about you. Okay.
Yes, I'll give Doug the point.
Fucking hell.
It's still 2-1 Owen.
The Mastermind. Is that a
That is
comedy?
not categorized as a comedy by Letterboxd,
Okay.
but you're kind of close.
Rebel Without a
One
Cause.
battle after another.
One battle after another is correct. Owen, what did you say?
I said Rebel Without a Cause.
That is not listed as a comedy. No.
Sherlock Jr.
Sherlock Jr. is listed as a comedy.
Wait,
Doug takes the lead.
Um,
3-2.
I didn't know you liked that movie.
I knew he liked that movie because he's my friend.
You guys probably
Parasite.
Parasite is on there. That's 4-2 lead for Doug.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
There's
I don't
one
know.
more movie going by release
Memories
date
of Murder.
that is not listed as a comedy.
Okay,
I was gonna say
more funny than Parasite.
there's one more movie that came out very recently that's not One Battle After Another. A movie that came out last year. Although I don't think you would think of it as a comedy immediately. And I don't know that if either of you have seen this movie.
Hard Truths.
No.
Oh. Did you give that 5 stars? Or is that
No.
not a comedy? Oh, you did. Okay.
It is a comedy. I did not give it 5 stars.
The last year funny movie, didn't see it.
You could think of other answers too. I just thought it was worth mentioning. You're still missing some other movies that are not as recent.
I don't know, man.
Men in Black.
There's some
Men in
very
Black.
obvious answers. Men in Black. There are a couple movies that I believe the three of us have watched together that you haven't named.
Jennifer's Body.
No, why
Did
would
you
that-
guys watch that without me?
No. There's okay. How can I give hints? There's one movie that we podcasted on, though it wasn't this specific movie. It was all of this director's movies.
Dazed and Confused?
I was gonna say Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. There's one comedy that I feel as though I talk about more than any other comedy ever, and you guys have not mentioned it.
Game Night.
I was gonna say Game Night.
But,
yeah.
But it has to do with games.
Liking games.
Dungeons and Dragons.
No, not
Has
to-
to
wrong.
do with games.
It really has to do with a game.
Warcraft.
The lights are off.
It's no.
Fucking games?
Gosh, I can't believe this isn't.
Game.
obvious.
The Survivor games.
I'll go even further. It has to do with a board game.
Clue.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you.
fuck.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, damn, the
I
Monopoly
was like,
has-
really?
Okay.
I
Evil
think the
Dead
other
2.
ones. What was that?
Evil Dead 2.
No, but one of these is a number 2.
Paddington 2.
No.
Mm,
Think hard about my favorite sequel. About my favorite number 2.
Terminator 2.
That's not a comedy, dumbass.
No.
2.
It stars one of my favorite guys who was in a movie that I liked a lot this year. That we podcasted on.
Fuck.
Dude, I don't know.
He's shirtless often in this movie.
Oh, Magic Mike.
Magic
2.
Mike 2, XXL.
Oh, Owen said it first. Okay, how many more movies are you guys missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know that you'll get any of these. I will
City Lights. No, you would never give that.
I'll give you guys 30 more seconds while I count up the total, and then if you guys want to give up, you can. I think
Ladybird.
Yes. Wow. I didn't think you were gonna think of that.
No.
I think Doug might have just won off of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, Doug has 6 and Owen
Babylon.
has 4.
Did you
No,
get that 5
Babylon
stars?
is not on there.
Mm.
Yeah, Doug is up 6-4. Owen, if you have any final guesses, there are 3 movies left on the board. You'd have to get all 3 of them to beat Doug.
What?
One of them is
Easy A.
no. You guys throwing in the towel? I don't think you guys are gonna get these.
La La Land.
2 of them are movies that you just wouldn't like. Comedy's not the first word you would
The
use
Sound
to
of
describe
Music.
them. No, but kind of close.
Oh, fuck.
The Sound.
No, music has to do with the title of this movie
Oh man.
as well.
Notre Dame Music.
No, this is an older movie. It came out pretty like closer to The Sound of Music than a lot of the other movies you've named. This is a 1950s movie.
Wait. 1950s music. What?
Sorry, let me confirm the release date. Yes, 1952. This movie came out, and the title has to do with music.
Music on 34th Street.
I'm not saying the word music is in the title, but
The Blues Brothers.
another
That's a great movie.
musically related thing is in the title.
Fucking hell.
Fiddler on the Roof. I don't know. I don't know.
The sound of the.
The Sound of Falling.
Oh. When you guys hear the answer, it's gonna feel so obvious.
The drummer. What?
For the sake of time, I'll give you guys the last three answers. The movie you're trying to guess currently is Singing in the Rain.
Oh my god!
The
You
the other
fucked me with
two
it.
the other two movies that you did not get are Romere's A Summer's Tale. And
That's what I was like. I was thinking Romero, but I was like, what the
yes.
fuck Romero would it be?
And the last one that just came out last year is La Chimera, which also is like, again, comedy is not
weird.
exactly.
Oh, I was so close when I guessed The Mastermind.
Yes, you were. That's why I didn't want to say that, because it would have been a little obvious. But yeah, Doug wins 6-4. Thank you guys for
Doug wins
for
the friend
entertaining
award.
me.
Yeah, easy actually, easy against you. Pump change.
Oh my god!
Wow. Anyway, that's where we'll end the podcast. Next week, episode 144. 3 movies coming out, although one of them, who knows the date that it actually comes out on. Possibly Hamnet next week, possibly not Hamnet. I think Doug and Owen are both going to hope that it is Hamnet, because otherwise we'll have to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But we'll see about the Hamnet release date. And in addition, we'll definitely be talking about Jay Kelly next week. So we will see you
Wait, Owen, come back.
later, episode 144. Goodbye.